There we go. Hello and welcome to episode 31 of the Jeffrey and Brian Show. I'm Jeffrey,
I'm Brian.
and we're just two guys drinking beer, talking about what's going on. Busy week.
Yes, it was.
Biden had a couple gaffes. He addressed the people. People got shot, and apparently there's a big deal, a big problem with killing Asian people or attacking Asian people in the United States right now.
Right.
Huh? Let's start with that, I guess. This big shooting that happened in Atlanta when 6 Asian people, 1 Hispanic, and a Caucasian were killed at a massage parlor. And I'm hearing a lot of people saying that was racist because there were 6 Asian people, and it's not the reflection of the population. But couldn't the same argument be made that why is it all people of the same ethnicity working in this one place?
Exactly.
Why hasn't that been brought up, or is it racist to say, hey, all these people have the same ethnicity? Because that's what I've been told is the definition of racism is when everyone's the same race, right?
Right.
But yeah, and the guy said it wasn't racism. He had a sex addiction and was trying to remove the temptation from himself.
I think I could find a better way to do that.
Yeah.
Less deadly.
Yeah, probably involve a lot of tissues and lotion.
Yeah.
I mean, it's terrible that this dude went nuts and shot a bunch of people.
Yeah.
But realistically, I don't know. I hear a lot of people saying all this stuff's hate crimes and it's crap and that crap. And maybe, I don't know. But I know that there's something wrong in your head if you're cool walking into like a business and just shooting people you don't know.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's more sickness than hatred,
Right.
Just my opinion.
Uh-huh.
You know anything that I don't know about this thing? Realistically, I've been avoiding this story all week because I knew what I was going to say once I read the death count.
Yeah, exactly. And isn't that many deaths a definition of a mass shooting?
I'm not sure how many. I think isn't it 3?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It's low.
Yeah, like same as serial killer.
Well, there'll probably be some new gun legislation they want to enact because of this, typical Democrat MO,
Wasn't gun control addressed and put to bed in 1793?
It was, but, it'll keep being an issue because right now they're talking about instituting even more gun control laws now that they control the House and the Senate and the presidency. So
see, that's the big problem too, is you got Democrats tend to live in really dense packed areas like cities like New York City, Boston, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is that there's more of them, typically speaking, than people in the suburbs because it's not as dense in the burbs. And they want to pass this gun control legislation because that's how it'll help them.
Yeah.
But they're not thinking about the rest of the country. Like for some reason, the guy in his apartment in New York City on the 15th floor obviously doesn't want a gun around because if anyone shoots anywhere and misses, you're going to go through a wall and into another person's building, another apartment. But when you say, oh, you shouldn't be allowed to own that because in New York City, this will happen. It's like, what about the guy in Wisconsin who's got wild pigs coming onto his farm and eating his sheep? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What are you supposed to do? Kick it really hard? If they talk about bolt action, single shot rifles, it's like, all right, you shoot one pig in the forehead with a rifle.
Yeah.
It falls down. It gets up, gets pissed off, and gores you to death, and the other 20 eat you.
Exactly.
No, it's just, for some reason, people don't like to even try to put themselves in other people's shoes, I mean, like, people still quoting CNN left and right like they're the news source for the world.
No, nobody even watches them.
No, they're down 50% since Trump left office.
Yeah, and I mean, Cuomo's show is down even further than that. I was reading an article about that, saying, that since he's not allowed to talk about his brother and have his brother on the show anymore, the ratings are down even further.
I love how they said that too. It's like, well, we obviously can't do it. It'd be a conflict of interest to cover my brother. It's like you did through the whole COVID thing.
Yeah, when he was like a superstar for COVID-19.
Getting what, Grammys or Emmys or whatever?
I think it was a Emmy.
Oh, we'll get to the Grammys too, won't we? Yeah, Pepe Le Pew's offensive
my
because he's a
word.
because he's a
Give me a
confused skunk.
break.
But you can have Cardi B and some other random lady, I don't know who she was,
WAP.
scissoring each other on national television, on network television.
And the name of the song, WAP.
Yeah, wet ass pussy. It's like, oh, but this isn't offensive.
No, not at
No.
all.
But a confused
Penelope
skunk,
is.
yeah, a confused skunk who thinks a cat is a skunk. That's inappropriate.
And Disney is put warning labels on some of the shows on Disney Plus from back in the day.
Yeah. I'm hearing a lot of talk about what Disney's doing. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a fan of this, but they didn't actually take away Peter Pan and Dumbo. All they did was if you have a child's profile, the kid can't watch it through that profile. You have to click on an adult profile.
Okay.
So the parent still gets to make the decision, which
is the way it should be.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's exactly the way it should be. And I'm cool with that. And a lot of people aren't mentioning that are going nuts about just like when eBay stopped selling some Dr. Seuss books. It's like, really? eBay? You won't let me sell a book?
Well, the publishers came out and stopped publishing a few of the books.
True. But let's say I have a copy of If I Ran the Zoo. Now there's no new copies being made, and I want to sell my copy. I can't through eBay.
Okay.
But I can sell my copy of Mein Kampf.
Nice.
Yes. So we know where the standard is here.
Yeah, and you can probably sell your copy of the Anarchist Cookbook on eBay too.
I just got real good luck because I brought this up and someone said, that's because Dr. Seuss was a Nazi. I was like, Adolf Hitler, the leader of the actual Nazis, wrote that book.
Yeah.
It's called My Plan. And you tell me these other guys that I just like, this is the leader of all of the Nazis.
Yeah.
But you point this stuff out. I'm like, well, how do you know so much about this? It's like, because I went to high school.
Yeah, back when they actually taught something in high school.
Well, they probably do still today, but I mean, I don't know what they're teaching anymore, honestly. I do know that when I was in high school, we stopped focusing on dates so much as remembering the events,
Okay.
Which made sense because you could get more information in your head that as long as you can have to remember, April 13th, 1856 kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know, not knowing when stuff happened makes a big deal too, Like how many people would tell you when the Emancipation Proclamation was signed?
During the Civil War.
Yeah. I believe it was 1856. I could be wrong. Actually, you know what? He signed that before the war was over, didn't he?
Yeah.
So we could have
it as a rallying point to get the African Americans to join the war effort.
Yeah, that's what it was. Is I'm trying to get all these people to fight on my side of the war, and I had to give them freedom to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying what he did was wrong in terms of morality, but it was illegal. A lot of people don't realize the Emancipation Proclamation, because at that time, slaves were technically property, and the government cannot come in and seize property. But that was a long time ago. Things have changed. That's actually an argument that bothers me a little bit, just because people are using the laws aren't right a lot today when they like burn down Portland.
Uh-huh.
They got another autonomous zone apparently too. Where the hell was I anyway? I distracted myself. Oh yeah, CNN. Alpha, I don't care. I stopped following CNN a long time ago.
Oh yeah, I barely watch Fox News even.
I don't really at all. Every now and then I'll see Tucker Carlson show up on like YouTube, and I'll give him a listen. I don't understand why he's hated so much, honestly. Don't get me wrong, he's a little, excuse me, not exactly a Democrat, but I wouldn't call him a Republican either,
No.
And what's his name there? Was it Don Lemon?
Yeah.
Said that Carlson was the next Trump.
No way.
It was him. It might have been Cuomo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God. Trumpism, Trumpites. We got to. We mentioned it last week. I think I think we played a sound clip of that person on CNN saying we should drone strike American citizens that voted for Trump.
Yeah, I gotta go.
All right. Well, where you want to go from here?
Let's see.
Biden fall down over and over and over again. What was that, like 3 times?
Yeah, it was like 3 times, and then he didn't like saluting the Marines very much either.
Neither did Obama. They didn't respect him.
He saluted the guy at the bottom of the stairs, and then he saluted from the top of the stairs. But he passed like 2 other military people, and it was almost like he was too busy in his conversation to take the time to salute.
Yeah, like it takes a ton of effort.
Yeah.
Sorry,
But, he made a big deal, and everybody in the media made a big deal when Trump fell down on those stairs in an event, and it's not even being barely covered on the mainstream media that President Biden fell down 3 times trying to get on the plane.
Oh, I shared that video, and someone I know told me that was photoshopped and never happened.
Yeah,
and that lets you know that nothing matters anymore. It's all just, this is what I want to happen, so that's what's happening.
Yeah. And if it's not covered on CNN or MSNBC, it didn't happen.
And even sometimes then it didn't happen. Like what was his name there? It's the guy in California. No, it was Cuomo, New York, wasn't it? It was at Antifa. No, it was Newsom, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Said Antifa attacked his house, and I was like, I thought they didn't exist.
Right.
Oh my God. Yeah, I don't know. Biden keeps taking a spill. He's calling the VP the president.
And he does, and he did a sit down with ABC recently. And that's his idea of talking to the media.
What, getting the questions in advance?
Yeah, from George Stephanopoulos. He has no connection to the Democrat Party at all.
Speaking of,
he was big into the Clinton campaign.
I just heard today that I had his name somewhere. The priest who did Biden's swearing in thing has been suspended from the Catholic Church for unspecified misconduct. Now, let's think historically. What have priests in the Catholic Church gotten in trouble for?
Child abuse.
Doesn't Joe Biden like to sniff kids and make them feel creepy and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Little weird coincidence there, huh?
Did you want to play the Biden clip?
Talk about Harris?
Yeah.
Sure, I got that right here queued up.
President Harris and I took a virtual tour of a vaccination center in Arizona not long ago. One of the nurses on that tour.
Yeah.
Good enough.
President
Oh
Harris
crap!
and I
Look at that! It just starts over and plays again.
And he doesn't even. I mean, I know he's reading from a teleprompter 99% of the time.
And it's the size of a Titantron at a football stadium.
Yeah.
Yep. And
so you got to wonder, what is going through his mind. Does he think she's in charge already, or is it really that he doesn't have a clue where he's at?
What's going on? Yeah. I don't even know what to think of it, man. It's like, even if it was written down, President Harris on his,
which I don't believe it was.
But even if it was, wouldn't you be like, she's not the president?
No, I'm the president.
Yeah, I don't understand how people, and that was the Washington Examiner I got that from.
It's that clip was everywhere.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's literally everywhere. I haven't heard anyone deny that's real yet, though. Probably because CNN put it out. They just didn't cut it down to that little piece of it,
Right.
It just blew my mind when he said that. I was like, oh my God. I was like, I can't form a sentence.
No.
He's always making weird noises trying to talk. Falling downstairs, doesn't speak to the press for 10 minutes, says, oh, I guess if Nancy Pelosi says I should, I'll take some questions. And then they cut the live feed to the guy. Exactly. What is going on?
Yeah, exactly.
Especially this calling her the president. That's really starting to freak me out. It seems like a lot of these conspiracy theories the right wingers had are accurate. He's going to just step down and give her the office and call
or
her.
Or they're going to use the 25th Amendment. But I heard recently they said they probably won't go that route because they made such a big deal about trying to do it with President Trump.
They didn't really try to do it with Trump, though. They just brought it up.
Oh, they brought it up constantly, though. They tried to get Pence at the end to sign off on it before the election, before the inauguration.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, well, we'll see what happens with him. He just got called out by the Russian leader too to do a worldwide debate when he called.
Yeah,
Putin
because
a killer.
he called him out on the ABC broadcast saying that he was a killer. You know.
Yeah, Biden doesn't have this. I don't think he has the spine or the balls to do it. I don't think he has the mental capacity either.
No, and now he's too busy to talk to Putin about this and do it.
Too busy to make sure that we don't get into
a war
with two of the most powerful countries on the planet.
Yeah.
While we're kicking China in the nuts, all of a sudden China's an issue. Have you noticed that?
It wasn't during the campaign.
No. Trump was crazy for saying that. Now even Bill Maher is talking about China.
Yeah.
They're going to eat our lunch. I'm pretty sure that's a direct quote from Trump.
Yeah.
But nah. Trump never did anything right.
No.
We have to undo everything he did, even if it was stopping segregation in schools. We have to undo it.
Yeah.
That's really pissing me off too. We're going to segregate people. And then they made it sound like we're getting rid of racism.
And what school, what college or university in the Northeast decided they're going to do like 5 different graduations depending on people's income and race?
Yeah. Shoot. I remember reading that. I want to say Harvard because I know they do separate graduations.
I know it was Columbia.
Okay.
It was Columbia, I believe.
Yeah, I know Harvard had like 3 or 4 every year now for different ethnicities. And it's like, what
this year, Columbia said they were going to do the same thing.
But wouldn't you want to be the poor black guy up there with the millionaire white kid saying, I have the same education as you instead of being separated?
Yeah, I mean,
we're talking give them their own water fountains too.
I think we're getting there.
Yeah, and before you get to choose which water fountain you get to use, we're gonna put a brown paper bag against your skin and see if you're darker than the lunch bag, right?
It's just crazy.
It is. We're going directly back to everything that we undid in the 60s.
Yeah.
By calling it diversity, by separating people. I don't know, man. If you don't stir the melting pot every now and then, you'll only get diversity when it explodes and boils over,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you hear Psaki admit or accidentally say that there was a border crisis?
Yeah, she circled back to that real quick and denied it.
Did she?
Yeah.
An expectation set outside of unrelated to any vaccine doses or requests for them that they would be partners in dealing with the crisis on the border. And there have been requests unrelated that.
Oops. Yeah, I got like 30 seconds or 45 seconds of that. I didn't hear. Actually, someone did say something about it later. Fox News guy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And she goes, not crisis or whatever. It's like, I don't know, man. You can't keep saying stuff like this and saying it's not what I meant.
But if you look at the actual video coming from the border, it's a crisis. And that's another thing that came out during Biden's ABC interview. He actually told the people to stop coming.
He did. And actually, I got something in
But
here.
what's crazier about it was he's talking about sending Homeland Security people and to different countries in different cities in Guatemala and the Central American countries so they can seek their asylum through them down there before they even start coming to the U.S.
Yeah, I had it in here somewhere. Maybe I didn't.
But isn't that kind of what the embassies already do?
Kinda, I guess. The embassies have all sorts of responsibilities. Not just immigration and stuff, but
no, they support U.S. citizens abroad.
Yeah. I had it here somewhere. Maybe I didn't save it over here, I guess, but I had something about the president of Mexico saying that Trump's policies actually.
It's right underneath Psaki.
Oh, well, really? Of her saying stupid stuff?
Yeah, right under the audio from the Blaze. You got it in here.
Ted Lieu on. No, that's Trump's Kung Flu.
Mexican said right out, I just highlighted under Pisaki audio,
Oh,
illegal
no.
immigration.
I'm on the wrong
surge.
page. Yeah, I was on the wrong page looking at it.
Too many pages.
But yeah, there you go. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. Yeah. President Joe Biden nullified many of the former President Donald Trump's immigration policies, but Mexican officials say that the previous administration's tough stance on illegal immigration helped curb migrants from Central and South America from making the journey north.
Yeah.
And did you see the video that just came out of the people drowning in the Rio Grande trying to cross into the United States?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's pretty sad. Pretty crappy. And, I'm waiting for someone to say it's racist that the river killed a Mexican person. But I think the person saying, come on over here. Well, we won't even do a COVID test. We'll let you come right into our country, but we're not going to let our own citizens go get a beer. Speaking of, I'm going to bring this up. Massachusetts is one of like 6 states not reducing mask restrictions in the entire country right now.
Oh, Simon, no, we're there with you.
Drives me nuts, man. And then you ask people, you say like, all right, so what's up with this mask? I'm like, it stops disease. The flu's gone. It's like, okay. Let's just ask you, have you ever had the flu? Have you ever been treated for the flu?
Yes.
Okay. Did you get a flu test done, or did they look at your symptoms, call it influenza, and hand you medication?
They just looked at me and gave me medicine for it.
So it's very possible that a lot of people they're treating for coronavirus was diagnosed the same way, but it was influenza.
Yeah, because nobody had the flu this year.
No, nobody. Not even enough people to get a sample to do a study on. What was it, like 19 people nationwide 2 weeks ago or something like that?
Yeah, it's
all
crazy.
season, not that week. I mean, it does sound like a crazy conspiracy, man. You heard about the guy in the motorcycle accident?
No.
It was a while ago. He died in a motorcycle wreck. Just fell off his bike, hit by a car or whatever. He had COVID, so they called it a COVID death.
Okay.
Just like the guy who had a gunshot wound to the back of his head died of COVID. And it's like, what the? If that's the case, then how come? Oh my God, what's his name there? Freddie Gray. How come he didn't die of COVID then?
Well, I mean, now that Trump's out of office, I think they've started reclassifying what's a COVID death and what isn't a COVID death.
Yes.
They did a lot of that to make him look bad when he was in office.
Now they have to make the numbers look smaller, which I'm a little surprised that we haven't seen flu numbers explode.
Well, it's not really flu season anymore.
True of that, and Biden's not actually calling individual doctors saying, lie for me. I mean, they're just going along with the narrative, which is everyone has corona and they're all dying and everyone who gets corona dies.
Yeah. But still, you look at the states that are wide open and the states that are locked down, and the numbers are basically the same. It's
Florida,
showing that, no matter how you treat it, the same result ends up,
Well, Florida and South Dakota are doing better than New York. Yeah.
And Florida has got the highest per capita age of people.
I didn't even think that's a good point.
They got, if one state was going to get hit super hard with it, it'd be Florida because they're wide open.
It's a retirement state.
And all the people from the north go there every winter for retirement.
Something did just happen. I closed the damn article. Actually, it might be on my phone. In Miami, they just put some kind of weird state of emergency in place.
Oh, yeah, because the spring breakers overran the place.
So?
And they're having, Miami is run by a Democrat mayor. It's one of the few areas that's Democrat controlled in Florida.
So all the money that was coming in, he wants to make sure that his community doesn't get it.
Yes, because they're worried about COVID.
No, they want to make sure there's plenty of room for people swimming from Cuba.
Maybe. But, because I just saw that tonight too, where they declared a state, too many people are coming down there and drinking too much and starting fights and typical spring break behavior. They've dealt with it for decades. They should know how to deal with it now. It didn't happen last year because there was some house arrest at this time last year.
It is possible it's a little worse this year just because everyone was locked in their house for an entire year too. You know what I mean?
Exactly. There's pent up frustrations.
Yeah, let's go get blasted and blow something up mentality.
Yeah. And a lot of people are afraid to travel to Mexico, where a lot of springer breakers would normally go, so they'd have more freedom. But because of the way that they make it sound, you can't travel out of the country, which we know you can. But, people are afraid to do it right now.
Well, I wouldn't go to Canada, that's for sure.
We can't.
I know.
Canada's locked down.
Well, you can get in, but you need all sorts of crazy permissions, and you need a real good reason, and you have to wait 2 weeks in a hotel.
Yeah, well, Trudeau hasn't opened up the borders or anything yet.
Exactly. To cross that border, you have to be like driving a truck bringing supplies or something. You can't just go up there to check out Quebec,
Yeah.
But on that note, where are we finding all this money for these stimulus things?
We keep printing it. We don't have it. We're not finding it. We're just racking up the national debt.
If we can just print money like that, why do we pay taxes or even work if we can just print money out?
Well, I've been a Bitcoin skeptic for a long time, but the way that things are going right now, I'm thinking it's time to start putting some money into some kind of cryptocurrency, because the way our currency's going, it's going to be worthless before it's said and done.
Yep. You got a PayPal account?
Yes.
Through PayPal, there's like 3 different cryptos you can buy right through that program.
Okay.
Bitcoin's one. I can't remember the other big one.
Ethereum.
Yeah, that's it.
I've been listening to some podcasts about cryptocurrency, so I'm actually starting to get a little bit of education going on it, so.
Yeah, I'm trying the same thing. It seems more complicated than trying to make it sound. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, so depending on which one you go with, it can be hard to get it out, and it's not like widely used yet, so you can't pay your bills with it per se.
Depending on who will accept it, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But it's becoming more and more widely accepted. Definitely.
Yeah. I'm still hung up on metals myself. I like having it in my hand, not just silver and gold, but I mean, even lead.
Well, one of the arguments I heard on the podcast, the reason to do Bitcoin or something like that, is that if the government seizes your bank accounts and they seize your computers, as long as you have the correct codes,
they
you
don't
can log into any computer and get that money back into your bank. You can get that the money doesn't disappear.
Correct.
So they can't seize that money.
Yeah, I like. I'm getting ready to buy a whole bunch of lead actually, but we'll see when that happens. It's not that expensive.
Mm-hmm.
It's way more useful than people realize. It is.
Is it considered a precious metal?
It depends on what you consider precious, but it's never been used as currency. But it has been used as bullets.
Yeah, well, that's kind of important these days.
Yes, and if I get myself, 10, 20 pounds of lead, and lead's really cheap, start casting bullets in my yard. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Just get some brass casings, pop some powder in there. I can make my own rounds altogether. That scares the crap out of me, though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, crap! I think I missed it. There's supposed to be a libertarian meeting in Massachusetts.
Uh-huh.
I think it was today, maybe it's tomorrow. I was all excited to hear what they had to say. And I thought about it for like 10 minutes. Like, they're just going to piss me off.
Probably.
They're just going to argue with each other.
You should still go make an appearance.
Well, it's online.
Oh, okay. Well, that's even easier. I would do that.
But I was like, they're just going to argue with each other and tell everyone else that they're not libertarian. The entire meeting is always no true Scotsman,
Yeah.
It's like, this is why the libertarians can't do crap. You guys can't even agree on anything, let alone get someone else to come and agree with you.
Well, let me tell you what happened to the Republican Party in Virginia. As crappy as it was, it still is. They decided this year they're not going to do a primary for the governor nomination. They're going to do a convention.
Okay.
So, and they wanted it with COVID-19. how do you do a convention in the state of Virginia? It ain't like Florida or Texas where it's wide open and you can just have as many people in a meeting as you want. So now they're having like different satellite locations where you can go and vote on who you want to be the governor nominee. But it basically puts the control of who's going to be on the ticket in the control of the party, not the people.
Sounds an awful lot like the Democrat policy.
Well, the Democrats here are doing a primary.
Well, I mean, in terms of we're going to decide who gets to take the nomination or whatever. We don't care what the people have to say.
Yeah, well, at least the Democrats pretend like there's a primary and the people have a say.
I don't know, man. Kamala Harris got knocked out pretty damn quick.
Yeah.
And somehow she still got put on the presidential ticket.
Well, you know how. Because Biden said from the get-go his nominee was going to be African-American and a female, or a woman of color, is what he said. So that narrows down potential candidates by like fivefold right there. You know,
why didn't you go with Elizabeth Warren then?
She's white.
According to who? Not Elizabeth Warren.
According to the rest of the country. I'm more Native American than she is.
Dude, you're more Neanderthal than she's Native American.
Exactly.
So it blew my mind. It blows my mind. She's like, oh yeah, 100,064th American Indian. I was like, the average human being is twice as much Neanderthal as that. And then Biden's going, that's Neanderthal thinking. And it's like, dude, that's offensive, dude. That's offensive.
It's because of her, you know, her high cheekbones is what gives it away. That's how she knows.
Don't the Russians have high cheekbones too?
I don't know.
It just blows my mind that she is possibly the whitest person on the planet.
But she used it to get into Harvard and become a teacher at Harvard, you know, professor.
Isn't this the actual issue we were talking that the Democrats are trying to address now?
Yeah.
Is white supremacy taking advantage of everyone else? It's like Elizabeth Warren just took a dump on a ton of people to steal a job that she wasn't qualified for.
No. And she should not have got into Harvard at all, you know?
And you bring it and you point this out, you're like, oh, that's because you're, you know, sexist. Like, no, she's a racist.
Yeah. You can't have it both ways, you know? I mean, if you're going to preach it, you got to follow it, you know? It is the way it is.
Well, that's, here we go. This is something that Obama brought up a couple of years ago, what he called the circular firing squad.
Oh, yeah.
You and I would call it cancel culture or the left eating itself. But Obama mentioned this years ago, saying that these guys are going to attack all these Republicans, and then their friends are going to see, oh, 15 years ago, you did something stupid. So now we're going to cast you out. Well, even Obama was like, you need to stop this now.
Yeah.
You know, wasn't a huge fan of the man as a president of the United States, but I will say he was a pretty intelligent dude.
He's very intelligent. I'm not taking that away from him at all. He's very intelligent.
He managed to get himself elected president of the United States.
Yeah.
There's only been a handful of those. You know what I mean?
46 now. You know? But he
45 and a half anyway.
Yeah. You know, but he's very smart. He's managed to, you know, he went into the White House with no income, no billions of dollars. He left, and just like Clinton's, you know, he's got a deal with Netflix now. He's got deals with everybody. He owns an estate on Martha's Vineyard, plus another compound in the DC area.
Speaking of the Martha's Vineyard thing, how come a whole bunch of these people pushing climate change and raising ocean levels keep buying beachfront property in Miami and islands?
Well, they think Biden's going to stop stop climate change.
They told us it's already too late.
Ted Danson said that 10 years ago.
Well, it's 6 years
20 years ago. Al Gore, you know, you don't hear much from Al Gore anymore.
No, he got completely embarrassed. He was dumb enough to put a date before he died.
Yeah.
Just like AOC, when she said the world's going to end in 12 years. And she said that, by the way, like 4 years ago. Or 3 years ago. And it's like...
Well, that's why most people, when they give these predictions, they make it for like 100 years down the road, so they can't be held accountable for it when it actually comes to fruition.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna start predicting climate change too, but I'm gonna write it in quatrains like Nostradamus. You know, make it as vague as possible so that no matter what happens, it could be attributed to what I predicted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
fire will fall from the sky.
Yeah. So do you want to talk about what's happening at the border?
Sure, we touched on it a little bit ago.
Yeah.
What in particular? Just the ridiculous jump that's happening there, and how Texas is going to get blamed for the corona outbreak once we let all these people in without testing them.
People are going to try to blame Texas for it because they're wide open now, and they don't have a. But I mean, the true culprit of it is that it's been documented over and over and over again. These people coming across the border, they're getting tested when they cross the border, but they're basically, if they're positive, they're just being told to quarantine for 14 days and go on your merry way.
The problem is, these facilities we're keeping people at the border to quarantine them are what, 700% over capacity?
Yeah. Now
So
they're talking about flying people into the northern states and
so we'll make sure
and putting the border problems up there too.
It's good to know that Massachusetts gets to deal with the COVID issues of the border of with Mexico. It's good to know that Massachusetts is dealing, because it's racist otherwise if white people don't get sick because of this too. Oh my God. Oh, I wish Tina was here right now. She went on a 5-minute tirade yesterday about our rhino here in Massachusetts. Charlie Baker. It's funny. She was going off and off and on and on and on. I said, yeah, he's possibly the biggest rhino out there, especially as a governor. I said it like twice, and she's like, "What the fuck is it? What the hell is a rhino?" I was like, and I explained. She goes, "Wait a minute, which one's Republican?" I was like, "That's you." She goes, "Okay, that's left wing." I was like, "No." Well, no, actually, that tells you that she actually believes what she believes, and it's not just stuff that she's been told.
I'm fine with that,
It's like, no, it's like, I think if I go to work and I earn money, it should be my money. The government shouldn't get 40% of it.
It's gonna go up. It's just gonna keep going up.
Speaking of, aren't we about to let a whole bunch of tax cuts expire?
Which ones?
Well, we had to undo what Trump did.
They can't undo it that easy. It's actual law.
Oh, it actually got signed?
Yeah, they did budget reconciliation to get those through.
Yeah, but there was a time limit on them, though, I thought.
Not on most of them. Maybe on a couple of the items.
I know that he was talking about not raising taxes on anyone who makes less than $400K a year. That's not actually true the way he said that. It made it sound like unless you're making almost $500,000 a year, you're not gonna see taxes. But if you work for yourself,
which I do,
and let's say you make $100,000 a year, your taxes are gonna go up.
Yeah. And I think one of the things I think Trump was talking about is, remember he put the hold on Social Security withholding for like a year
from paychecks.
Yeah. And now that he's not in office, those are being collected. So everybody's paying. Everybody that had that withheld from their paychecks, like the military, now they're paying double for like the next 6 months on Social Security.
I think you should be able to opt out of Social Security. Maybe not 100%. This is an idea I've been kicking around for a couple of years.
Well, President Bush tried it. He tried to get it through, where a small percentage of it goes into the stock market, and everybody freaked the hell out about it.
Well, I like the idea of saying, I will sign now saying I am not eligible for benefits and pay 50% of Social Security debt, or whatever you want to call it. Like half of what I normally pay to Social Security, I'll still pay that. So we're still putting money in, and now you're guaranteed that there's more. Now you're guaranteed that someone's not withdrawing who is putting in.
Yeah, that might work.
It sounds like a compromise to me anyway, because for some reason people genuinely think they're going to be able to survive on Social Security when they get older.
Hell no.
Especially with the dwindling childbirth rate.
For like me right now, when I get to Social Security age of like 67, that's like the first time I can take it is 67. Yeah. I'm going to get like $600 a month.
Yeah, what are you going to do with that? That won't even pay your mortgage.
No. Well, hopefully I won't have a mortgage by then, but still.
Hopefully, but life throws a lot of curveballs at you, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, I've got a program going right now where if I continue with the program for 6 years,
you'll own it?
I'll be debt free.
Woo! That's nice.
Yeah.
Then you don't have to worry about property taxes.
Well,
He's,
I can deal with property taxes. That's no big deal.
yeah,
Compared to what I think, property taxes are like $2,000-$3,000 a year.
I was gonna say it was nothing.
Yeah, it's like 3 mortgage payments, 4 mortgage payments.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like if you get a year to pay it too, it's not like you have to pay it like every week. So it's like I'll put a couple bucks aside. I'll put a couple bucks aside.
Oh
man. But Cuomo, yeah, Cuomo. Biden said something about Cuomo and a sexual harassment thing. Actually, this article I got here is old. Apparently, he's come on up and said if he's been proven to be wrong, that he should resign.
That was part of the ABC interview too.
Oh, see, I didn't watch it.
No, I didn't either. I
clicked on a couple
heard
highlights.
I heard highlights of it. I don't watch any of that crap. I got better things to do with my time.
Sure, but he can only do an interview for a couple minutes. I should have watched it. I really should have. But
we don't know how that interview was put together. I mean,
no, it might have taken 3 days.
It may have been cut together over time. It may not have been like an hour sit down. It may have been, hey,
3 days.
Yeah, take a 5-minute break. 10-minute break in between each question or something.
Yeah, and then we'll go and cut out everything that we don't like.
Yeah,
put it together.
Yeah,
just like what I do with this show when I go and edit it. I mean, I cut it into first thing I do is cut it into 4 blocks because I can only cut off the front or the end of a clip thing that I make.
Mm-hmm.
So I cut it into 4 blocks so I can trim pieces out like dead space or I haven't been, but I should be censoring out when we drop the F-bomb. But
yeah, well, I put explicit for podcasts, so
I can do that too, but you have to have a registered account on YouTube to watch it at that point.
Oh, okay.
And as long as I'm not trying to get monetized, I can say whatever I want anyway.
Okay.
And the monetization process is ridiculous.
Yeah, I know it is.
Like you need 1 million subscribers to start with anyway, and then it has to all stuff has to happen. I was like, yeah, maybe if I hit 1 million subscribers, I'll start watching my language, Of course, then they'll probably all go away.
The problem is we like to drink too much during the show.
I've been cutting down a lot on how much I drink. I've started only drinking like 45 minutes to an hour before we start recording.
That's about what I do, but I'm drinking rum before the recording.
And I try to drink 7 beers at most. Mostly because my
medicine.
Yeah. Actually, the medicine doesn't interact with it, but the alcohol thins the blood.
Oh, yeah.
Which can cause seizures.
Okay. Well, I had to thin my blood for high blood pressure, so.
Yeah, well, it's interesting, actually. This medication does not react with anything.
No.
And it's the first one they go for with seizures. You don't worry, you can take any other medication you want. He's like, you can go home and smoke a blunt. That's fine. Just a heads up. He's like, just a heads up. If you drink a ton all the time, you're going to thin your blood and have a seizure. I was like, that's weird. That's crazy because I used to drink a ton of booze. I'm so glad I don't drink like that anymore, though, man.
Yeah. Well, I really only drink on Saturday nights for the most part now,
Occasionally a beer here and there.
Yeah. If I'm out to dinner and, feeling it, I'll have a beer here or there.
Oh, yeah, seeing your buddy, like, let's crack one,
Yeah.
But I'm doing the same thing. Like, I did hop on my skateboard yesterday, though.
Dang.
It was about 1.5 miles, which the way there sucked because it was mostly uphill.
Yeah.
The way home was freaking awesome. But yeah, I got me a longboard. I don't know if you've ever seen it or not.
Yeah, I have my nephew has a longboard.
Okay. Well, I've had this one since probably before I met you. But yeah, I just wanted to go. I wanted to get out of the house, so I went to the 99. And they don't have those down there, do they?
No.
It's a sports bar.
Okay.
Boston area. It's actually because it was the 99 something street in Boston was the first one. They called it the 99. Okay. I forgot where I was going with this. Oh yeah. I sat at the bar for like 2 hours and had like 3 beers.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it just feels good to be out of the house and have a good cold and a good beer. I don't have to go spend $15 to buy a 6-pack of Sam Adams if I only want to drink one.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course, it costs like $7 for that one.
It's kind of like the place we used to go to in Hampton here, the Hampton Tap House. Where they had like 100 different beers on tap in downtown Hampton on Queen Street.
I don't know if I had been there, but I have been to.
Yeah, you've been there with me.
That's not the place I got kicked out of, is it? And I dented your car door with my face?
No, No, they got like 3 beers on tap there.
Okay. This place sounds an awful like the beer garden down in Va Beach. Portsmouth, you're right.
Yeah, similar. I know we went there at least once. I think we went there for a show too, but
Probably for a show. Oh, for like a fight?
No, upstairs they got a little concert venue area.
It's entirely possible and even likely that this happened. It's also entirely possible and even likely that I was so drunk that I forgot all about it.
Yeah. Those are the Navy days.
Yeah, I'm not in my 20s anymore.
Nope, me neither.
And I got a freaking kid now. Holy crap, what a mistake.
Yeah.
Not that it's a mistake, but like, who allowed me to reproduce? Like, I'm waiting for some crazy leftist to come to my house, find out this show exists, and come to my house with a baseball bat trying to fight me. Which, by the way, it will not end well for anyone trying to attack this house up here in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
No one here believes in weapons. You remember my big Bowie knife?
Yeah.
It had a 13-inch blade.
Yeah.
That's illegal here.
Nice.
Not only okay, now you're saying I can't have a gun. That's pisses me off enough. It's my right to have a weapon.
I thought you were working on that.
I am. But I'm just saying in general, like Virginia, man. I would go to the gun show.
Yeah.
They would do a background check on the spot. With the state. By the way, state police do the damn background checks for anyone who's going, that's the gun show loophole. The state police are there. They run the background check on the spot.
Yeah.
And you can walk out with a new pistol strapped to your hip, no permit.
Right.
You only need one to conceal carry. There is no open carry here.
Right.
And it's almost impossible to get a concealed carry permit.
Yeah.
And you can't buy a pistol in this state without a permit. So I can't even keep one for home use.
It's a loophole.
Well, I mentioned this to some of the law enforcement recently when I spoke to them about it, and they said, well, then just get a shotgun for home defense. It's like, plus when you fire a shotgun to the hall, you don't have to worry about anything surviving. I was like, yeah, like my cats, my dogs, my kid.
The Joe Biden home defense method.
Yeah, I was like, why don't you shoot in the air and see where it lands, right?
What'd they say?
Then the guy just looked at me and it's like, I don't, why would that happen? I was like, I don't think you understand how a shotgun works, which tells me that you should be passing legislation at all. You shouldn't be having anything to do with this. Which is like they're saying they want to ban these automatic rifles, these ARs. I was like, you know, AR doesn't stand for automatic rifle, right? Like, automatic weapons have been illegal in this country since 1985.
Yeah.
Which isn't really true. You cannot own an automatic weapon made after 1985 in this country. And to own one before that, you need stupid permits.
Unless it's an antique.
I was just gonna say, well, even then you still need some kind of permit if it's an automatic weapon versus like a single shot.
Yeah.
But check this out. One of the most dangerous guns we've ever thought about is the mini gun, right? The Gatling gun, the rotating barrels.
You
know, technically that's not an automatic weapon.
Huh.
Especially
not by definition, huh?
That's because it's not refired by its own exhaust gases. It's either electric that spins the barrels or a crank.
Yeah.
Huh. So it's cool. I have a mini gun.
Yeah. So that's what you got to get.
Actually, I'm seriously considering building a flamethrower. Not a single state has outlawed flamethrowers in the entire country.
Massachusetts will be the first, thanks to you.
Oh, yeah. Once I defend my home once with it, they're like, you burn like 6 people to burn them beyond recognition. It's like, we got to do something. Get out of my house. Run around the fire extinguisher, put the rest of the house out around them. All right, well, we got way off topic there.
Yeah,
that was a good one, though.
Let's talk about some racism.
Is that what we've been talking about all night already?
Well, we haven't got to the actual topics about it.
Which racism do you want to talk about?
We'll talk about them all.
Well, I mean, against Asian people, against white people, against black people.
Yeah.
I mean, there's you got one in particular, that, like one of these things that, like the white supremacist thing on campuses.
Yeah.
Sure. Where was this?
Under President Harris.
Yeah. I'm looking for the city or state or the school. University of Vermont I'll just read this. A professor who teaches at the University of Vermont is now coming under heavy fire from students who are demanding that he step down from his post after he uploaded a video to YouTube talking about the growing anti-white sentiment that is growing on campus. This is the nuttiness you are paying for when you write that check for your kid's college tuition. Makes you sick, right? Oh, that was the entire. Oh no. Oh, and then it goes into basically how we're trying to pass all sorts of policy, how it's absolutely okay to discriminate against people in colleges. Which this actually, I'm going to tie directly into the anti-Asian American thing that's going on.
Okay.
Didn't the Supreme Court of the United States recently rule that it's okay for colleges to discriminate based on ethnicity?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they did because they said there are too many white.
Because
Asian
well,
students.
they were saying that you can't, like, it was on the West Coast. It was the big deal, you know, that they were saying that race can't be a fact. That there's no preferential treatment for race for college admission, basically.
Harvard University got the okay from the Supreme Court of the United States to go ahead and say we need fewer Asian people in our school. And it just blew my mind. That was a year or so ago, maybe 2. So there you go. Back to that same article. Having conversations around anti-racism. What the hell? Okay. I did some digging to find out what anti-racism is versus what everyone would think it was. And I don't just mean Google like definition, but I went and looked at the actual groups called anti-racism. And they have a policy that the only way to undo historic discrimination is present discrimination. And the only way to undo present discrimination is future discrimination. And their argument is you're not going to be against racism. You're going to be trying to be racist the other way to set things back. So like every other generation or whatever gets kicked in the teeth because of the color of their skin, you know? And that just seems like a terrible idea to me.
It is. I mean, at some point, we got to stop living to color people's skin and just live as neighbors and human beings.
Pretty sure there was a really famous doctor back in the 60s that said something similar to that.
Dr. Seuss?
I don't know. Did he have a dream that one day his children would be judged by the content of the character or not the color of their skin?
That's probably Dr. Martin Luther King.
Yeah, it was. Well, no, look at what modern society is saying about this race stuff. And then look what Dr. King had to say. They are complete
opposite. Yeah. It's almost like people are cherry picking what Dr. Martin Luther King said to fit.
I want freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a dream.
Check.
And that's the end of it. You know, I have a dream.
POTUS got busted twice plagiarizing. And the VP, who's apparently also the president, got busted for plagiarizing Dr. King by saying she was the little baby that said, I want freedom. You had heard that, right?
Yeah. She wasn't even anywhere old. She wasn't even born when Dr. King was saying that.
There we go. I have a perfect place to go from there. Perfect transition.
All
Check
right.
this out. Not only that, but Tupac hadn't released an album when she was in college smoking pot with all of her friends, right?
Yeah.
However, the White House just fired a crap ton of people for prior marijuana use when not only did our VP admit to smoking a bunch of weed and inhaling, but the last Democrat president not only admitted to smoking weed, but doing cocaine.
Yeah. And well, I mean, and they're trying to, they went to Secret
Obama,
Service.
by the way.
They went to Secret Service to try to change the policy because marijuana is so legal and, you know, so much accepted in so many different states now that it shouldn't be. They're saying it shouldn't be an issue to get your top secret clearance to be a member of White House staff now.
Well, what makes anyone think that a marijuana user is going to be selling government secrets? If anything, they'd be too lazy to do it, right? They go, I guess I could go and sell this to the Chinese, or I could smoke another bowl and take a nap and watch cartoons, you know?
I think it's just rules that have been in place for years and years and years that nobody's updated.
You mean rules that were put in place that the United States government had no authority to put in place in the first place?
Well, I mean, when it comes to who gets the top secret clearance, they definitely have those rules in place.
I meant drug laws. Sorry, that's what I was referring to. The government has no authority to pass drug laws like that. That should be up to each individual state, right?
Right.
It's amazing that
but the states can do whatever they want, but the banking system's owned by the federal government.
Yeah, why? That's what blows my mind. Exactly, the banking system's run by the federal government, but the federal government's economic system is run by a private bank.
Yes. Back to the Federal Reserve.
This is circular logic at its best. It's like, I know the Bible's true because the Bible said so, and the Bible's right. You know, it's like, right. No, you can't use your argument in your conclusion.
No. You can't use the source as the source when you cite the source.
Actually, oh shoot, I might have had something about that. There was a story. Oh, find the fraud. Do you hear this?
Maybe, I don't know.
A while ago, Trump was accused of telling a particular state to find the fraud.
Washington Post in Georgia.
Yes, Washington Post came out and admitted. Yeah, that never happened. And not only that, we had the audio recording of it the whole time. Just never bothered to listen to it. But how many people ran that story and quoted the Washington Post as their source? And CNN has refused to retract.
And it's amazing how this all comes out
after
President Trump is out of office.
Well, just like the Supreme Court thing is,
they pissed me off big time.
Well, you can't raise an argument before something goes wrong because there's been no injury. It's like, all right, I don't like that, but I understand the argument, right?
Right.
But then after it happens, you bring it up again.
In advance.
Well, yeah, they bring it in like, well, yeah, it's already done now. There's nothing we can do about it. It's like, whoa.
And then all the cases that the administration brought up during the transition of the election fraud and the election laws, the Supreme Court decided the best time to hear those cases was after January 20th. They waited until after the inauguration to hear all these cases.
And threw most of them out anyway.
Yeah.
Blows my mind, man. Oh, that stupid.
And that brings up another topic that I put on towards the end. It's on page 2.
What the hell were we just talking about anyway?
And it's about the Arizona State Senate has ordered another hand recount of 2.1 million ballots for the 2020 presidential election.
Yeah. Is that the one they're trying to recall the Republican who won?
No. Oh. This is about the presidential election. And at this point, they're not trying to change the outcome of the election because they know they can't. But they want to prove to the voters that whether there was voter fraud or not. They want to bring back some standards to, so people believe in voting in Arizona.
I haven't read this article, but which way do these guys seem to think that this
they're the Republicans?
So they're pretty sure it's going to show that the actual numbers are not what the hand count says.
Yeah, and they're hiring a forensic firm to go in and look at all the ballots, whether they're handwritten or computer ballots. They're going to look at the ballot machines, and they're doing a forensic investigation.
See, if I was going to do voter fraud and I was involved like that, instead of fabricating a ton of votes, I would destroy votes. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
As weird as it sounds, it's hard. It's easier to find a fake vote than to prove that a vote was cast. You know what I mean? Because let's just say, for example, I wanted the Republicans to win, and I was working in the poll booth, doing whatever. I could take every other Democrat vote, stick it in a backpack, go home and burn them all, and never count them. Versus fabricating, Steven Crowder fabricate. Did you see the Steven Crowder thing when he went and checked out all these addresses?
Yeah.
The little under highway overpasses was the address, and they're like, oh, it could have been a homeless person. Actually, those states have ways for homeless people to vote, and it's not by claiming an underpass is your home. But that goes on that reminds me of the whole Black Americans are too stupid to get an ID to vote, or too stupid to find out where to vote.
But meanwhile, you have to have an ID to fly. You have to have an ID to pretty much do anything else in the country but vote.
Drive, to buy cigarettes, beer.
And people are freaking out because Georgia's passed laws like that. They're strict. They're making stricter voting laws now, where like if you want a mail-in ballot, you got to like send a copy of your ID in when you request the ballot, and then another copy of your ID in when you return the ballot.
See, I had to put in 2 forms of ID to apply for unemployment in Massachusetts, but
And
I
not
did
for
not.
voting.
I did not show any identification to vote.
Exactly.
Well, and this is what gets me: it's a right. You shouldn't have to do any of this stuff for a right. It's like, fine, I'm gonna go buy a gun. Well, no, that's different. I was like, I don't know. I'm
Right.
sure. Which? Sorry, it just drives me nuts. Exactly. It's like we have these sanctuary cities for people jumping the border illegal. Like, oh, we want to arrest them. Where are the sanctuary cities saying we're not going to arrest you for having an automatic rifle? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There aren't any. That's another reason why I won't join the Republican parties, man. They got no balls. They got no spines.
No, they really don't anymore.
And I don't mean the people. I mean the party itself. I'm gonna hit pause. You all right?
All right.
All right. I got it going again. I don't actually remember what we were talking about, but I do know that in general, the last several conversations we've had have reminded me, and I know I said I probably wasn't going to play it, but I'm going to play a little bit of this audio. Anyone who may be concerned, I am protected under the Fair Use Act of the United States against copyright infringement because we are either satirizing, using as education, or to prove a point. Just in case someone's worried about me using someone else's music, which I know they're not, but I like the fact that I checked on that. But in general, this is the way I feel every day when I go outside and have a look around, like at the world around me. The 4 non-blondes.
Yep.
It's funny, I haven't seen them in forever, and I watched the video, and I was like, those are not attractive women. No. Well, don't get me wrong, they're not like disgusting or anything like that. It's just, it was the 90s. They all had like dirty, dready hair with like cut off pants below their knees and the big giant top hats with goggles on them. It's like, whoa. It's like going through a time machine back to high school.
Yeah.
Oh shoot, you already graduated high school by 1990, didn't you?
I graduated in 87.
I was 5. And actually, only at the end of the year. I was born in November. All right.
I tend to hang out with people who are younger than me for the most part.
Keeps you young, you know?
Yep.
So where are we going, Rand? We want to go into how the United States military, and in particular the U.S. Navy, has gone woke.
Oh, it's gone off the chain. It's getting ridiculous.
Well, they're trying to hunt down Trump extremists, right?
Yeah.
That blows my mind. You're telling me that the military of the United States is going to hunt down and fire anyone who supported the president of the United States, the commander-in-chief of the military.
Right.
What are we, the people, to do to stop shit like this from happening? If we can't get government to do it, is it really going to be a matter of taking up arms?
It's getting there.
I've heard the argument before. Actually, it was one of our Democrat, I think, congressman that said, "Oh, you can't get into a civil war with the United States. They have nukes." And I was like, "You really think that the U.S. is going to nuke Boston?" You know,
It's kind of counterproductive to nuke your own country.
Yeah. And they're like, "Well, what are you going to do to take on the National Guard then when they show up?" I was like, "I'll do exactly what the rebels did in the 1770s in my forest, and I'll hide behind a tree, and I'll pick off their leader with my rifle from the woods, and I'll run 1.5 miles up the road. And as they come through again, I'll pick off the next guy in charge, but there'll probably be 50 of us doing it, you know?"
Yeah.
By the way, I'm not saying I'm going to do this. I'm just saying that if it came down to that, there are ways to fight a war like this. Because again, people keep saying that, you know, there's nukes and how do you have a civil war? I'd like to point to Afghanistan.
Yeah.
How long have they been in civil war?
For 30, 40 years.
How long have they been nuclear? Almost as long.
Well, that'd be Pakistan.
You're right. Oh my goodness.
And when you said nuclear, it's like, there's no way.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's embarrassing. I prided myself on that one for a long time too, for knowing that who's
Yeah,
nuclear.
well, I was listening to No Agenda show today from earlier this week, and they had an article on there about somebody saying that with the way our culture was today in the U.S., that if the same people were here during the Revolutionary War, we'd be part of Canada at this point.
United Kingdom.
Yeah.
What would be part of Canada? You think they would have made us all one country? This entire?
I don't know.
I don't know. They did to Australia, I guess.
But we would definitely be under the rule of the Queen because people wouldn't have the guts to stand up.
I mean, the racist Queen?
I don't believe. Well, let's go there. You got it on this list.
Honestly, I don't care if they are or not. The idea
don't care,
of a
and I
bloodline
don't
monarchy
think they
pisses
are.
me off.
I'm like, I mean, look at the United Kingdom. They have more Muslims in the country than they have like white people at this point. You know, there are parts of.
I doubt that.
Well, they have a lot of people come into their country, and they don't have the same. They don't have a lot of cultural identity anymore because they've let so much immigration into the country at this point.
Yeah.
They're starting to lose their identity when it comes to like England, maybe not in Ireland or Scotland or Australia, but in England itself, they have let a ton of people in from Muslim countries.
They even let back their own citizens that went and joined ISIS.
Exactly.
It was several years ago, but two young ladies, right, went and joined ISIS, and then decided they wanted back, and England was like, "Yeah, all right." It was like,
"Yeah."
So wait a minute, what you tell me is they went to learn how to behead people for jihad, and now you can say, "Come on back and cut people's heads off."
Yeah, I don't understand how this stupid interview even happened. I don't understand why people actually watched it. I don't understand why CBS paid Oprah so much money to do the interview. Nobody
because they
cares.
knew it was going to get clicks. No,
Nobody
for some
cares.
reason, no, that's not true. That's the problem. People that give a crap about freedom don't care. But how many people lost their shit in the United States and died? And obviously, the Queen couldn't just kill another one, especially in an American, in the United States. But you could have knocked me over with a feather when I found out she was a black woman.
Yeah,
Rachel Dolezal is darker than her.
Right.
I honestly had no idea she was black. I was like, I'm looking at it, I was like, I'm as dark as she is.
Yeah. Yeah. I just think it's overblown. I think nobody. I mean, in my circle of friends, nobody gives a shit about it.
Well, yeah, he's hoping the monarchy comes down. Honestly, I don't understand how any modern society can have a bloodline system involved in their government. Now, you can say the Queen is only a figurehead, but that's not true. She actually has war powers.
Yeah, she has some powers, but she's not getting money. She's not getting money from. They have like a foundation set up that pays for all the castles and stuff now. They have a fund that does it. They're not getting money from the United Kingdom anymore to pay for their wages, to be in the royal family, to pay for
not
their
to pay for their
security.
lifestyle, no, but when they decide that we're going to drop a nuclear weapon, the Queen has to sign off on it. Actually, I don't think England has a nuke, do they?
That's what I was just going to say. I don't think they're a nuclear capital.
Moab or whatever.
Yeah.
What is it? United States.
India.
India, Pakistan, North Korea, Russia. Does China have a nuke?
Yes.
I think that's all of them. I might be missing one.
North Korea is iffy. They're not like.
No, they have nuclear. They have nuclear capabilities. They do not have intercontinental ballistic missiles yet. Which, I got into a big fight with some family about this maybe 5 years ago over this. It was before Trump talk about North Korea's nukes. I'm like, oh, what are they going to do? Just walk up and hand it to you and set it off? It's like, they can't launch it from North Korea. It's like, they don't need to. They put it on a cargo ship and park it in Boston Harbor.
And that does the same job, you know?
You know what? I wouldn't even go to Boston unless I was trying to be a terrorist. I would go straight to Norfolk. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that why Japan bombed Pearl Harbor? Was all the aircraft carriers lined up, right?
Yeah.
What the hell is happening in Norfolk right now? Please tell me they changed it, because when I was living down there were like 3 or 4 carriers lined up in a row.
Well,
It's
they're
like,
not. They're all out to sea now, so they're not. There's
That's
only
because we're
one
getting
or
ready to
two
go to
here at a
war.
time. Yeah. And I think we had something else on here about the Queen too. Oh, she wants to run. She's talking to Democrat
Marco.
leaders about running for president. Marco.
Yeah. In such a racist nation, we're gonna put this colored woman in office, you know?
I don't think it's going to work as well as it worked for President Obama.
Well,
I
at least
think-
Obama had a position in the government before. Granted, nobody knew.
Yeah.
This is funny. I've asked several people this. Nobody could tell me what his position was or what state it was. I'm sure you could tell me.
Illinois. And he was in the Senate.
Yes. I was going to say Chicago, but then I realized as I was about to say it that Chicago's not a state.
And I know people will try to compare her against Trump because Trump wasn't a politician before he ran for president and won too. But I think if she's relying on her race card to get elected, I don't think she's going to have the same outcome as Obama did. There was a lot of white people that thought they were shedding their racist beliefs by voting for the first African American president.
Without knowing what his points were, too, actually.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many people that voted for the guy have realized it, but a lot of the stuff they called Trump super racist for were Obama policies.
Yes.
And it's like, do you care what happened? Or are you just trying to make a point? Like, exactly, like, who built the cages, Joe? Who built the cages?
You're not calling them cages anymore.
No, it's a migrant facility now, an unaccompanied minor migrant facility.
And the reason why they had to separate the minors from the adults was there's a law in place that says you can't detain a minor for more than 3 days. When you go through the asylum process, it takes a lot longer than 3 days for the federal government to decide whether you're going to be granted asylum or not.
Yep. It's funny as you bring that up, and it just reminded me how people were saying that Biden wants to get rid of the coal industry. And I was like, you're out of your mind. Joe Biden loves miners.
No, we don't.
Oh, come on. That was a good pun.
He loves those miners. That's the one like the miners that are in coal mines.
No, he likes miners with O's, not E's.
Yes.
Minor, not minor. Sorry, that's still funny every time. Anyway, back to the military thing.
Yes.
I actually got a couple of links here.
Yeah.
I'm not going to look at that one. We'll get to that in a minute. I want to bring up that I read this thing, but I forgot her name and everything. United States Navy has put their first female in charge of an aircraft carrier, the Abraham Lincoln CVN 72.
Yep.
Oh my God. This is one of the old aircraft carriers. Now that can't be right.
Well, Carl Winston was 70.
Yeah, that's why I'm looking at the numbers on this. And this has to be some kind of BS. This says as 11. Oh, never mind. One of the Navy's 11 nuclear powered. I thought I said it had 11 nuclear power plants. Like, no, what?
No.
Well, the first nuclear subs, had 4 reactors in them? And the guy was trying to make a
Enterprise.
point saying,
Enterprise was the only one that had 4.
Yeah, he was trying to make it a point when he designs it. Like, this is asinine. It won't work. The Navy's like, we're doing it. All right.
Well, here's what I find very interesting about this promotion.
Before you go too far, I just want to point out, bring this up. United States aircraft carriers, for anyone listening, have 2. Sorry, I almost said 4.
Yes.
2 nuclear reactors.
Yes.
And in case you're wondering if that's like efficient, they have to refuel every 25 years, but they could technically make it 50 years without new fuel.
Right.
And was it Haiti that had the earthquake or the hurricane?
Yes.
And the Carl Vinson floated down there and plugged their ship into the island and powered the entire country.
Yeah.
But nuclear power is bad, right?
Exactly.
Sorry, just had to bring that up because it's amazing how much energy.
Of nuclear power too. So
yeah, how much energy comes out of this? And I'm like, it's dirty. It's like, no, it's the cleanest energy there is.
It's like the only real renewable energy out there that there is. You know, it's the greenest of green energy.
Well, it's not renewable though. it happens through entropy, which, by the way, if we could figure out fission.
But there's nuclear power plants out there now that actually eat their own waste.
Yeah, they haven't been built yet, though. I thought they were just in theory.
No,
These ones that
there's some countries that are using them, I think.
right. Well, this is new technology. I was just reading about how it's physically impossible for this new nuclear material they want to use to melt. Because of the way they do whatever with it, they're coating like little porcelain pellets or whatever. I don't know. But it is impossible for the radioactive material to melt, which I don't know if anyone realizes, but that's what a meltdown actually is. It will not turn into a liquid and boom. But anyway, we're talking about.
But yeah, let me get back to Captain Amy Bonner-Schmidt. This is a very unusual promotion because if you read the last paragraph of the thing on Navy.mil, normally to be a captain on an aircraft carrier, you had to be like a jet pilot.
She was a naval aviator in 96.
Yes, all on Hilo squadrons.
No, I'm saying she was a naval aviator. Oh, okay. And served several helicopter squadrons.
She never flew in any actual planes.
So
this is the first time I've ever heard of. You would never get a man as a CEO of an aircraft carrier that's just been in Hilo squadrons. They would never get that promotion.
You really think it's that important to understand the feel of an aircraft to control the moving airstrip?
I'm just saying that the standard is being changed here.
Now, is it being changed? Now, here's the question. Is it being changed across the board or just for her?
That right now it's just for her.
Well, she's the first one. And actually, the Army, you mentioned that, the Army just brought up how they're having issues with the difference in standards for physical fitness with men and women.
Okay.
Well, we're telling these people, we're gonna have all these women in, the Ranger unit. But then you go,
there's like one or two that actually made it through now.
Yeah, and they had to pass an easier test.
Okay. See, that's not happening with the SEALs.
No, they're like, no,
women
you
are
can't do
allowed
this job.
in
You're
the
not doing it.
SEALs, but they've got to pass the same test.
Oh, the SEALs. I don't know much about the Ranger training because I didn't know any Rangers, but I knew several SEAls before Obama went and told the entire freaking world where SEAL Team 6 was hiding.
They're not there anymore.
No, I can tell you where they are, but I'm not gonna. No one would believe me anyway. Not to mention, no one knows where Portsmouth is. Whoops. They actually blew my mind when Obama was like, "Oh yeah, we came out of Norfolk, Virginia with SEAL Team 6." I was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I live on Norfolk base. It's gonna get bombed now." And they packed up and moved out within the day.
Oh yeah, they had
It was
to.
insane how quick they were. And I remember laughing too as you look at these 230-pound dudes as tall as me, and I weigh $170, and I got a little bit of a tummy now.
Yeah.
With these massive beards driving these huge trucks just rolling out. A guy in my last shift was like, "What are all these crazy civilians doing rolling out?" And I was like, "What do you mean civilians?" He goes, "Look at those beards."
They're not civilians.
I was like, "That's the SEAL team rolling out because Obama told the world where they're hiding." He's like, "Oh, they can't have beards." Like, that's actually why they have beards. That's why.
So another military issue is a lot of people don't realize, because if you listen to the mainstream media, you would think
the Navy was out of control, but
the COVID-19 vaccine is fully approved by the FDA, but it's not. It's only
not a single one
for emergency use only.
It's not even approved; it's authorized.
Yes,
that is a big difference between approved and
authorized. Well, you won't hear that from Biden. Biden says it's safe and it's approved and it's good to go. Well, the military cannot force the troops to use an emergency use vaccine. It's up to them to decide to do it or not.
Yeah, but since when?
Guess since recently, because only a third of the troops are taking the vaccine.
But why? I don't understand. I don't understand why they got a choice.
I don't either, but they got one and they're using it.
Well, you and I were guinea pigs with
no, I escaped the anthrax vaccine.
No, the influenza nasal shot with the eggs.
Okay.
If you're allergic to eggs and everything, that whole thing.
Yeah,
You and I got that shot for years before it was
Yeah,
released to the
yeah,
public because we were the
yeah.
test units and we had no say in whether or not we got it.
No. And
So how come-
you know how many times I've taken the flu vaccine since I've retired from the Navy?
I've had
13
zero
years
since I
ago?
got out of the Navy.
Once.
Yeah,
One
I've never
year.
done it. Well, the flu vaccine is
It's
a guess.
Yeah.
That's the best way to describe it. It's a guess.
Uh-huh.
It's like, oh, this is the strain we think was going to happen. But same thing's going to happen to Corona that happened to the influenza. The one it's going to stick around. It's going to become the new.
I don't think it's going anywhere. There's the mutations
No,
out there.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to be just like the flu. It's just going to be something we deal with
Yeah.
from now on.
Uh-huh.
Coronavirus already existed before. It's the common cold
Yeah.
is a coronavirus.
Yeah.
I just don't understand. I've been digging down that rabbit hole trying to find a decent answer, but the further you go down that rabbit hole, just like you expect, it gets crazier and crazier. But some of these crazy ideas make the most sense, dude. Like, we're going to do a great reset, a global reset.
Yeah.
Well, let's bankrupt the entire planet and start over and,
Right.
you know, build in our image instead of God's image kind of thing, you
Yeah.
know?
I mean,
Where are my sunglasses and my hat and my hood, right? But yeah, was it what you said, 50% or something like that?
a third of the troops.
I thought a third was what they had accepted, and they found out it was like 50%.
No, they're the ones that are opting out. A third of the troops are opting out. Oh wait, then the number suggests it's more.
Oh yeah, I clicked on the wrong one. Yeah, there's one here. I don't know where it is. There's something here that says
I know it's a super high number.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the rate may be closer to 50%. I would think that'd be more likely.
There you go. I opened the wrong article. I was like, I can't find what we're talking about. But yeah,
It's already been highlighted.
What the fuck did that just do?
45,000 participants.
Oh, it must be a commercial on this page. Hold on a second.
What page are you on?
That CNN one about the 50% of people, the
I just
military.
pulled up CNN without a commercial.
Oh, I didn't see the commercial, but it definitely came through my speakers. I don't know, man. Like we're demasculizing our population, and in particular our military.
Yeah.
Uh,
I have another one that's COVID related.
oh, I thought you were going to mention the pregnant women in the service that they've been talking about too.
No, let me
Pregnant women
find
should be
this
allowed
later.
to serve on the front lines, apparently.
Click on thread by Robin Monet bot thread reader app.
I will in one moment, but I want to bring up this.
Okay.
Shoot, was it Tucker Carlson said something about the pregnant women in the service?
Okay.
And not necessarily against pregnant women in the service, but like we shouldn't have them like holding rifles. And the Marine Corps' social media account tore him a new ones. Like, once you've been pregnant and served, and you haven't served today, and yada yada yada. And I was like, neither did Joe Biden or Obama or Clinton.
Yeah.
You know, you made a big deal of Trump not serving.
Uh-huh.
How many of our last president? How many in a row presidents haven't served?
It's been a lot. I don't.
Yeah. But yeah, they went nuts on him, and they came out and apologized later. And it's like, what's the United States military doing targeting a civilian to tear a new one because they disagree with what you have to do? Isn't that the point of the media, is to question authority?
Uh-huh. Definitely.
Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead. You're Robin Monet.
Yeah, just click on that real quick. It fits in with our basically
I read
this is from the No Agenda show.
This sounds like part of that rabbit hole I was talking about. Huh?
Okay. And it's basically saying that Big Pharma has created the pandemic and they need the pandemic to go on at least until late June.
To their patents or whatever, or their protection.
Yeah, because the vaccine authorization, not approval, is temporarily pending the conclusion of the clinical safety trials, which has got to last at least a year in duration. So
Oh, the safety trials are literally us handing them to American citizens.
Yeah, and all around the country, all around the world. So if there's no year of pandemic, there's no year of trials, and there's no money for these big pharma companies to make money off the deal in the long run.
Okay, I get that, but why is the entire world going along with this to make sure Pfizer and Moderna and I want to say Johnson and Johnson. Janssen, I think, owns them.
Yeah, Janssen owns Johnson Johnson now.
Why is the rest of the world going along with this to make 4 or 5 companies stupid wealthy?
That is the question of the year.
Is this some QAnon Pizzagate conspiracy theory?
I don't know. But it makes more sense than a lot of the other crap that we're dealing with right now.
Oh, we keep talking about overpopulation. We have too big a carbon footprint and not enough farmland and go on and on and on and on. And this disease, for the most part, is targeting people over 80 years old, right?
Yeah.
Let me be cold and heartless here. Let it run its course.
Well, Governor Cuomo tried that.
No, he put people that were sick into nursing homes. There's a difference between letting something happen and making it happen. You know that, right?
Yeah.
If
I was being devil's advocate there because I knew I'd keep you going. You know?
I know, but like if I sit on my backyard or my lawn chair and drink a beer and watch you tie a noose in your yard next door and hang yourself, that is absolutely different than me going over there and doing it to you myself.
Yeah.
I don't even know what we were talking about. That was a good point.
We were talking about Big Pharma needing a year of the pandemic.
There you go. Big Pharma hasn't even been a right-wing conspiracy. That's a left-wing conspiracy theory, right?
Yeah.
For the most part, the Republicans have loved Big Pharma.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Uh-huh.
Now, why all of a sudden is the left wing loving Big Pharma? Like, aren't they the criminals that are lying to you and keeping you sick to be able to sell you drugs? That's the exact theory you just mentioned, isn't it?
Yep.
What happened here? Was it just because Trump's
not in office anymore?
No. I'm still surprised that they're not blaming Trump for people refusing to take this vaccine.
They tried. They've tried it. And
the only reason why they don't want to take it is because Trump said it's good.
And now Trump came out and said, take the vaccine.
Yep.
It's safe.
And how many people won't because Trump said it? How many people said they wouldn't take it because it was made under Trump? It's like, you think Trump was there making vaccines?
I'm not taking it because I don't think it's been tested long enough. I don't think there's enough testing people involved in the process.
True, but a third testicle might be interesting and fun.
I'm happy with 2. I don't need 3.
Funny, I saw. Actually, I think it was. I'm rewatching Bones. Remember that show?
Yeah, yeah.
Fun show.
Mm-hmm.
I'm rewatching it on Hulu, and you know how the FBI agent there, Booth, is like super religious and Catholic.
Yeah.
He says about how God's perfect and never makes a mistake. And one of the ladies on the show goes, I don't know. He's like, what? And he goes, testicles on the outside? That sounds like a pretty bad design to me. I was like, I'll give you that one. Anyway, did you see how Biden is undoing women? That women don't exist anymore?
What do you mean?
Well, I can literally say I'm a woman, and you have to accept it.
Okay.
Right?
But
by that, I
if
mean,
you're not a woman?
Huh?
But what if you're not a woman?
You have no right to say that. Which is nuts, because I thought you had a right to say whatever the hell you want in this country.
Didn't they already screw that up in the administration?
What's that?
I thought they already like backtracked on that or screwed it up or didn't follow their own rules, kind of thing.
Well, last thing I saw was they said something about schools can't discriminate on sex anymore.
Well, that's why all the states are starting to pass these transgender sports laws now.
Yeah, see, that's an issue, man. It's like, all right, I don't think that someone who's okay. High school is different. It's just during puberty, things are a little different. But in terms of like college athletes, professional athletes, do you want someone who's been a man for 20 years working out with the testosterone of a man to a month ago say he's a woman, get into a cage and have a fight competition with a woman while still having a penis?
I think we had an article not too long ago where somebody died in the ring because of that.
This is one MMA fighter who's caved in 3 women's skulls and killed one.
Yeah.
used to be a man.
Right.
And it's sexist to say, or it's bigoted or whatever to say, maybe this man shouldn't be beating women senseless.
Yeah. But he's not a man anymore. He's a woman.
Well, we're undoing all the progress we've done for women for how long? By saying there's no difference between men and women. If there's no difference, then there's no need to pass any kind of law saying they can vote because they can just say they're a man, right?
Right.
Yeah. I'm going to take a couple minutes here. I'll be back shortly. Just need a minute or 3 or 4 minutes.
All right.
Sorry to anyone who's realizing that we're just jumping completely. We hit the pause, as I mentioned, and we were talking for a minute off the recording. Mentioned your semi-new spouse. Well, actually, It's been a year, hasn't it?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Coming up. It'll be in July. It'll be a year.
Check this out, man. September, 10 years.
That is insane.
Wow, I know, right?
Time flies, man.
What's
It
even
really
crazier is
does.
this shows you how long we've been friends. You and I were friends. I'm pretty sure before I even met her.
You were.
And we dated for like 5 years before we got married, too.
Yeah. Oh no, we've been friends for quite a long time, you know.
Speaking of that picture you got for the show, the two of us, the old one that Tina took.
Yeah.
If you look real hard in the background, you can see her reflection in the picture behind us.
Really?
From the camera, yeah.
I'm gonna go back and look at it now.
But it's not a format I can use as a thumbnail for the show on my webpage, YouTube channel. I was like, oh, that's really disappointing. That's because I've used it a bunch of time for other stuff.
What format do you need it in?
I think I either need a JPEG or a shoot. I don't know. There's like 3 or 4 things I can use. I'm not 100%.
Figure it out. Let
They're
me
all
know,
the same to me. You know what I mean?
I can convert it.
I probably can too, but I wouldn't even know what software to use. It's
well, I'm the photographer of the group, so
it's very true. I'm very slowly learning how to, even just do this.
Balls.
I've been waiting to use that one, and I was waiting for something crazy to happen and call a bunch of people this.
What a bag of dicks.
Anyway,
that might work under Como.
I don't know. Have you seen the meme floating around Facebook saying that all the stimulus money is being spent on dildos, guns, and tigers?
Yeah.
And it's Ron Swanson from oh shoot, what was that show called? Parks and Recreation.
Okay.
It's like, God, I love America. Which is funny. I don't know. Did you watch Parks and Recreation?
No, I never got into it.
So did you like The Office then?
as it is. So what's that?
Did you watch The Office then?
Yeah, I watched some of The Office. Yeah.
Now, see, that's interesting because typically people like one or the other. Well, I don't know. Ron Swanson made me laugh my ass off. I could never decide if the guy was hardcore conservative or insanely libertarian. He's like, I don't care. I want a ham sandwich and a gun. Why is the government here? It's like, oh my God, I agree with this guy.
So since you just brought stimulus, I'm going to move us over to the National Review article about the stimulus bill.
Before we go there, I just want to mention the Sarah Silverman thing that goes into the Women Don't Exist.
Okay.
Not really Women Don't Exist, but Sarah Silverman's leaving the Democrat Party because of cancel culture.
Why is she leaving the party?
Well, it makes me laugh a lot. Well, she actually, the way she put it was, I'm not going to be affiliated with any party anymore. It's like, you've never been affiliated with the Republicans.
No, never.
But she made her
He's
whole
a comedian.
career. She made her whole career from shock comedy, calling people, N-words and this and that. What was it? What was that movie she did with 1,000 Ways to Die in the West?
Okay.
I mean, she was a whore. And and the guy coming in was like, oh, I want anal. And she turns to her boyfriend and goes, I'm going to get you those new boots. Anyway, back to what you were talking about. I just had to bring up Sarah Silverman, made her career off of shock comedy. And now that she's been given a hard time after she did it for years, not just the shock comedy, but we should cancel these people because I made my money on it.
Yeah.
Now she's worried about being canceled herself and doesn't agree with it.
Well, the latest stimulus bill just passed by President Biden and the Democrats. includes significant pension reforms and expands pensions. There was a lot of, well, apparently I can't watch. The link doesn't work anymore.
The what?
But the link I just clicked on says it's forbidden. So I've done something wrong.
Oh.
But basically what the article was saying was that there's a lot more, there's a lot of money that went to teachers unions and different unions to like bump them up, where it had nothing to do with COVID-19, but it was just money that they put in there to appease the unions, basically.
I mean, the unions that just lost all of their jobs?
Well, the unions didn't want to go back to work because you know, they were still getting paid to stay at home and teach from home.
Who was?
The teachers.
Teachers. Yeah, I was thinking union in general. My mistake. Yeah, that whole teacher thing. What city was it in particular? Was it Chicago? That was a big deal. They were like, "No, we're not going back."
Yeah, Chicago was huge. Yeah.
And he's like, "No, we're not doing it." It's like, why are we paying you then?
Yeah. Kids ain't learning on Zoom. If everybody thinks the kids are learning anything on Zoom, they're crazy.
I would look it up right now. It's probably gonna take me 4 to 5 minutes to find it. But I did look this up a little while ago because I did a YouTube video. I was gonna do a YouTube video on it, but decided not to after I recorded the whole thing about people saying teachers should get paid more. And I brought up this COVID thing. It's like they're not working at all right now, and we're paying them a ton of money, you know. And I got the argument from people, and I addressed the, we're doing it online. Well, you can record yourself and never have to do it again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, here in Hampton, Newport News in Virginia, when the kids are in class, all they got to do is log in. They don't have to have their cameras on. So if they don't have their cameras on, there's no accountability. And guess what the kids are doing?
Whatever the hell, they're probably playing video games.
Going to bed, taking a nap, you know, not paying attention to school. That's for damn sure.
I saw one picture of a kid who had his webcam hooked up like I do here, up here. And he took his cell phone and recorded a video of him like taking notes.
Yeah.
And then did this with it.
Uh-huh.
So it looked like he was in class the whole time. He was sitting there playing video games in the background,
Well, he doesn't have to do that here because the cameras aren't required.
Oh. I actually agree with that, but I want to go a step beyond that. The idea of a public education is that you should be able to show up with zero and get an education, right?
Yeah.
That's the idea. Now you're saying I had to go spend how much money on a computer and an internet connection? How are these poor Black Americans that don't know they need ID and can't figure out how to vote, how are they supposed to go to school? You know what I mean? If they have to buy a computer and figure out how it works. And if you can't figure out where to vote, according to the Democrats, not me, and you can't figure out that you need ID, according to the Democrats, then how the hell are you going to figure out how to connect to a Zoom class?
Well, you can use Zoom on a phone, on a tablet, Chromebook, and a lot of schools have issued Chromebooks to everybody, no matter where they're at. You know, during this coronavirus thing, everybody's gotten a Chromebook now, so it's great for Google.
Don't get me wrong, Chromebooks are convenient for certain things, but they are not good for taking notes. At least the one I have, can literally only do what's already installed on it.
Well, that's what they're doing. They've gotten in partnership with the schools, and they're installing
the
books and whatever school stuff they need to be on there for.
Now, what does each one of these cost?
I don't know, but Google's making a killing off the deal.
And you're saying they're issuing them. Are you only issuing them once, or if I lose it?
Yeah, you only get it. I don't know.
Interesting, because that sounds like it's costing the taxpayers a ton of money.
To
pay for an education that's not happening.
Exactly.
And as I started to mention earlier, I went and looked it up a while ago because it was driving me nuts about teachers deserve to be paid more. The average teacher salary in my town in Massachusetts is almost $90,000 a year. And they work, 8 8 months a year, maybe.
Yeah.
And you can say, well, they're this and that, and or they're super educated, they deserve better. Let me bring back the same argument we bring up every time someone gets active duty, gets the leg blown off by an IED. You signed up for it. You knew what you were doing, right?
Most kids sign up for the free college education with the GI Bill.
True, but I'm saying, like, when that kid gets his leg blown off, the rest of the country goes, oh, that's sad, but you knew what you signed up for.
No, they didn't.
Look, yeah, very, very true. The average kid did not, but your average person with a master's degree knew exactly what they were signing up for when they became a teacher, right?
Yeah.
So why are we crapping on the guy who's giving up his leg so you can call him a Nazi?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
We're not using the same argument for the person who was much higher educated.
Yeah.
Trust me, that's especially because I got a couple of friends that are teachers, and they get pissed when I bring this up. I'm like, you get paid almost twice, or not almost twice. You get paid a third more than I do. Like, well, I have this education. I was like, and I have education too, but I work all year round.
Yeah.
And I didn't get to say I'm not going to work because of COVID.
Exactly.
And when I don't go to work, it's not like your children suffer.
No,
I
your
don't go to
children suffer.
Yeah. When I don't go to work, your kids can't go take a weld test in a school that's already shut down anyway because you won't teach the damn class.
I got a couple more COVID things I want to cover, and then we can move on to another topic.
Sure. What do we got with COVID?
Biden fact checks.
Yeah, I did not click on this one. I saw it and I was like, oh, this will be fun. But I did not read it. So tell me all about it.
I think I got it.
What the hell is that?
It was from the Chicago Tribune. And it's basically saying that President Biden wrongly claimed 2.9 million people on Saturday had been fully immunized.
You said about April, right? For the entire nation to have a shot at the vaccine.
This article was March 13th, and he said that there's 2.9 million people that have already gotten both their shots.
Okay. 2.9 out of 335 million.
Yes.
That's.
And he also said on Saturday that we set an all-time record of 3 million people getting vaccinated.
Yeah, I heard about this, and that wasn't accurate at all, right?
And yeah, and it comes down to is only 1.56 million that were administered on Saturday.
Yeah, it's far from the one-day record. The most productive day for vaccines was February 26th, when 2.8 million were administered.
And of the people that are fully vaccinated, it's really only 8%.
But vaccine doesn't mean crap anyway.
No.
You still have to social distance. You still have to wear a mask. However, the president did say that he'll give you a little bit of freedom if you get vaccinated for the 4th of July.
Yeah, you'll be able to celebrate the 4th of July with other vaccinated people.
I would just like to point out that the president does not give me my freedom.
No.
And Trump said this, and I know I bring this up every time I get the opportunity, saying I like to criticize Trump. I did. But Trump said that you'll get some freedom if you do what I say.
Nobody do it.
No. And I can't believe that we're accepting this from any president.
Know. I didn't last year. I mean, I did what I wanted to do on the holidays. I wanted to do it with the people I want to do it with. Screw them.
Well, my own family's super like, oh, COVID.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they're going over to each other's houses and they're doing all this stuff. They're hanging out all the time. It's like, oh, it's a small group. It's like, yeah, you're hanging out with 5 people. And those 5 people yesterday hung out with 5
other people,
I was like, realistic, by being in this room with them, you've been exposed to 25,000 people in the last 3 days.
Yeah.
And they don't understand this logic. I'm like, you're telling me that spreads that easy? That easy? That means going to the grocery store and smelling the bottom of that apple or watermelon to see if it's right. You're spreading that disease. And how the hell does me wearing a mask at my restaurant
while you walk in to get a table
until they serve me anything, I have to wear a mask? Or as soon as I'm served, I can sit there and drink beer.
In Virginia, the rule is different. Once you're seated at the table, you can take your mask off.
Well, it's because we all know COVID dies if it's less than 5 feet high, right?
Yeah.
Like realistically, we should all just lay down every day.
Yeah, we good. We
Like-
don't
like-
wear masks at all.
Almost like if we go to bed. It just drives me nuts. It's how is, and it's even better. I had someone try to explain to me how it worked. Like I was an idiot.
Uh-huh.
I listened to the whole thing. I was like, all right, no, yeah. Like, so what do you think about that? And I was like, how much education or training do you have on ventilation? And like, as much as everyone else, none. I was like, oh, cool. I know all about ventilation and fluid dynamics.
Uh-huh.
Because I actually went to school for it and had a job doing this kind of stuff, doing damage restoration.
Yeah.
This building is designed to spread the air around the entire building as quickly as possible to stir air up and keep fresh air everywhere. If you are walked in the front door, or if you're taking a dump in the bathroom in a restaurant and you exhale, people in the restaurant are going to get some of your breath. Now, doing around the bathrooms are pretty good about blowing it outside because who wants to smell a giant dump when they're having dinner? But I mean, they're literally designed to push the air from one end of the building to the other and suck it out the other to move air through. So it's constantly
and that's why all these school districts want extra money to, revamp their ventilation system for COVID-19,
I was unaware of that, and I'm glad to hear that because that's proven that someone's at least going, this stuff's being spread around because of the ventilation.
Yeah.
So that tells me then sitting down.
That's why all these school districts want extra money to, revamp their ventilation system for COVID-19,
I was unaware of that, and I'm glad to hear that because that's proven that someone's at least going, this stuff's being spread around because of the ventilation.
Yeah.
So that tells me then sitting down and taking my mask off is just exposing me to this disease.
Yeah.
I have to be careful, man. I might be convincing a Democrat to shut down Massachusetts again. There's no longer a 90-minute maximum at being out in a restaurant or a bar.
Oh, we didn't have that in Virginia.
We did. You were only allowed to be there for 90 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, because, it takes at least an hour and a half for COVID to get out of my body.
Yeah. And my last COVID-19 article that I want to talk about.
One more thing on that.
All right.
If we're assuming that at least one person in this building had COVID, wouldn't you want to keep the same people there as long as possible to not introduce more variables that could have COVID?
Yeah.
Instead of making the turnover as quickly as possible, almost as if you were trying to turn this over as quickly as possible through a crazy ventilation. Where are my sunglasses? Where's my conspiracy hat?
Well, when it comes to restaurants, I understand why they want to turn the tables over because they make more money the more tables they turn over.
Yes and no, in terms of a lot of stuff, but the markup on beer is a lot more than the markup on food.
Yeah.
They're going to make more money.
I don't know how it is in Massachusetts, but you can't go into the bar and just drink a beer. You got to get food.
You have to get something.
Yeah.
In Massachusetts, the same thing, which surprised me. Virginia did that, but Virginia's getting a lot more Democrat. They used to be very swing state.
They're not anymore.
No.
We are no longer a purple state.
No, Governor Blackface has changed that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was he Blackface or Ku Klux Klan?
He was blackface.
He was Blackface. We're sure of that now, or we're still kind of just guessing?
Well, I don't know about everybody else, but I'm sure of it. I saw it in his yearbook.
Well, yeah, but there was also a guy standing right next to him in a Ku Klux Klan hood.
That wasn't him. He'd rather be blackface than Ku Klux Klan.
But the Republicans are the racists, right? Anyway, you wanted to go somewhere? Maybe you already did.
No. Let's talk about roller coasters.
Really? I was going to go to.
Now I want to finish this COVID thing up, and we can go.
Oh,
there.
Yeah, there you go. You're right. That's right. That's what we were doing. It was COVID.
Yeah.
Was it Disneyland in California?
California theme parks are going to be allowed to open soon, but there's going to be no shouting allowed on roller coasters because you can spread the coronavirus by shouting.
Huh. Did water parks open this past summer?
In Florida.
Well, I'm just thinking water parks use chlorine.
Yeah.
Essentially a
good
bleach.
Killer of coronavirus.
Oh, I know. As we all learned from CNN, Trump's telling us to shoot bleach into our veins to kill corona.
That is not what he said.
I know. Even better is
Your-
that's
your-
how they came up
your
with the vaccines.
connection
Like,
is dying on us.
but you would think a water park would kill corona, or at least stop the spread if you're in the the water with all the bleach everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I
Weird
just think that if riding in a roller coaster and shouting is gonna, it's just fucking ridiculous to me.
You're not gonna get anyone to. What was the one in Virginia? The Griffin that used to be the largest highest free fall drop in a roller
Yeah.
coaster on the planet.
Yeah.
By the way, I did that ride. It was all right. I like the other one better. That was at Six Flags. I like the other one better at the water park. That was you walked in this chamber that closed around you like a cryogenic chamber, and the floor fell out from under you.
Oh damn.
Yeah, it was nuts. Just whoop, and you fall like 80 feet, and you're like 8 inches from the slide until you fall like 80 feet. Yeah, you got a hard on the whole way down. And when you hit the bottom, you got a turd in your pants. But there's no way you're gonna get anyone. No, I shouldn't say anyone. I don't scream on roller coasters, but that's me.
I did because that's what I do. You know, I
That's
hold
what
my
most people
hands
do.
up and I scream. You know,
Yeah.
it ain't much but a thing.
Yeah, I'm not a screamer, but I'll put my hands up and I'll smile. But I'm just not a screamer like that.
Okay.
But I know that almost everyone does.
Yeah.
What fun's a roller coaster if you can't do what's fun on a roller coaster? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like
Exactly.
if I can, you're almost making it sound like I'm just gonna go on a hilly, windy road in the passenger seat with my eyes shut. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In a car. Yeah. Like I said, man, this all just seems like a giant conspiracy. I don't know how much longer the United States is going to accept this crap and just shut up and roll over because it's.
I think we've already. I think I would
hit the tipping
put
point.
I put the percentage probably like 60% of the population has
I'd go
already
higher.
given up on it.
I'd go higher in terms of. I bet you it's closer to 80% of the population thinks it's asinine,
Yeah.
but they're terrified to say a damn word about it.
Right.
That's even worse because you'll mention. I got some family members. I'm not going to mention them by name because that's just rude.
Yeah.
But they've publicly lied about getting a COVID vaccine.
Does anyone anybody know?
They want people to think they had the shot, but does not want that damn shot. It's like, what? All you're doing is like keep going with the thing that you're saying you hate so much. I've already forgotten what I was talking about a minute ago, but that's all right.
Your family members with the COVID-19 vaccine.
Yeah. Saying, they just want everyone to think they got the shot. Because then I'm not the outcast, but they refuse to get the shot. And
Well, that's interesting because early on with COVID-19, the stigma was to telling people you actually had it.
because nobody knows what the hell it is.
Exactly.
It's like, hey, I made I got an injection. Let me stick it in you, see what it does. I'm all set. There we go. COVID-19 vaccine injuries. Did we go over that one?
No.
I saw something about this. This was what more?
This is from your neck of the woods, the New England Journal of Medicine.
Yeah, they're actually usually pretty good too. Did you post this to me?
I did.
Okay, I was like, I don't remember this at all. What does it tell me? I see a lot of letters: FDA, CDC, VICP.
Yeah, it said, well, normally it takes scientists 10 years to develop a vaccine, which I would trust that vaccine a lot more.
Here's the question, man. Where are all these anti-vaxxers?
They're out
already
there. They're just not getting the vaccine. They're not talking about it. They know that.
Jenny McCarthy and Jim Carrey were huge, outspoken people against vaccines, weren't they?
Yeah, well, there's an issue now.
Oh, they might get sick. So
And they're liberal Democrats, and that's not the way to go as a liberal Democrat when it comes to COVID.
So did they never actually believe this anti-vaccine crap?
No, I think they did. I just think they pick and choose which vaccines they believe it on.
So maybe the one that's been around for 40 years and has been tested 10,000 times is the one that's safer than the one that was made last week that has no data. I mean, you're more likely to die. Let's be real here. You're more likely to die of measles, mumps, or rubella than COVID, right?
Yeah. Well, what this article comes down to is how much money people can make of like court cases of issues with COVID-19, like something that happens to them, and it, basically under the emergency authorization and the way the law's been put in place, that there's not a lot of compensation available for people that want to have something happens to them and filing injury claims. They're not going to get a lot of money out of it.
Yes.
Because it's based on income, race, and ethnic groups.
Didn't this have something to do with that year they had, the year they want to protect them from lawsuits or something?
Yes, exactly.
I don't know, man. The problem is when you bring this stuff up, man, people don't even say I disagree with you, or you're not even like you're wrong. It's you're a terrible person.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I actually brought some information. I brought some data.
Yeah.
At least look at it like, no, you're evil. It's like you're forcing people to get a vaccine that you have no idea what it's gonna do. And especially this mRNA one. For all you know,
it changes your DNA. It alters your DNA.
For all you know, it's gonna make the other coronavirus that we all know, the common cold, fatal.
And I was reading an article in the local newspaper that was so excited about the scientists that created the COVID-19 vaccine, and she says she's going after cancer next.
Well, here's the question. Okay, first of all, cancer's not a virus. It's a mutation. So what kind of scientist is this that I'm supposed to be trusting? And I'm pretty sure cancer is nature's way of cleaning up, as terrible and horrible as it sounds. I've known many have died of cancer, to include my own mother.
Yeah.
But it almost seems like it's nature's way of cleaning up, because I don't know how aware you are, but the average male over 50 years old, when they die, prostate cancer is found. Now, it's not necessarily what kills you, but it's there. So if you ever get to 90, it'll kick in and go, nope, that's enough of that.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how. I don't know if you want to go with the universe or God or Gaia.
God.
Same idea, depending on which religion you choose, I suppose. But maybe this is just, the cosmic balance. Maybe it's God. Maybe it's Gaia, Mother Nature, saying, nah, there's too many of you,
Right.
Or you're too old. Same reason why women lose fertility typically in their late 30s or early to mid 40s. Men do 60s ish.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, you've had plenty of opportunity to reproduce. We don't need you to have 15 kids anymore. You know what I mean? We have modern hospitals. You don't have to have 15 kids to make sure 2 survive.
Yeah.
Thank God for modern medicine. My wife would have died in childbirth if we tried to do that at home. Anyway,
you choose the next topic.
Sure. Who's this Ted Lieu guy?
Ted Lieu.
Yeah. Representative, Democrat from California.
This is you.
Yeah.
You posted this.
Yeah, no, there's so many
I don't know who
elected
Ted
officials.
Lieu is.
Well, neither do I. There's so many elected officials. He's not one of the ones you hear all the time. Yeah, he's a Democrat from California who said Trump calling it, China virus, the Kung flu, is what caused all these Asian hate crimes.
No, people hated Asians long before the Chinese flu.
Well, it's actually funny. I can't show video on this very good. I got a picture of the actual increase. It's almost negligible. Like, it's 100% increase. Yeah, it went from 1 to 2.
Your internet's breaking up again.
I don't know why. How am I doing now?
Better.
I don't know why. Everyone must be trying to plug in at the same time, at the same one. I need to get a damn hard line.
That's what I did.
The thing is, I need from here, I need 75 feet of cable to run to the.
It's not that expensive.
Probably not, but I had to figure out where to run it to. I don't want to run it up my wall across
That's
the
the
ceiling.
hard part. I got the router. When I upgraded my internet recently, like last year, I made him move the router into my office, so it's right here now. So
Well, the router has been where it's been for like since routers have been a thing. And I'm at the opposite end of the house because we used to use that end of the house to do this stuff, but I don't want to piss off everyone in the home.
yeah.
By me going on
Yeah.
rants for 3 hours every Saturday, But I do have the rubber flooring that connects together. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
That's what I did down here because I got a concrete floor in the basement.
Uh-huh.
One, this stuff it's much softer and it's good insulation against the cold in the winter. That was really weird. Never seen that before. So I might be able to run my cable down underneath the rubber flooring to my my modem router.
Yeah.
But we'll see. So far, this is working pretty decent. My biggest issue is like upload times to get my stuff online. But I don't like it if I'm talking to you and it goes.
Yeah. And it hasn't happened often, but tonight it's been more frequent than before. So
Yeah, I've seen it come up a couple of times saying your internet connection's unstable. It's got to be someone like doing something on their phone that quick draw. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know how internet bandwidth works, but I know that's how electricity works, and I'm assuming they're similar. But yeah, he was talking about it was Trump calling it the Kung Flu, and I tried to play it before. I don't think I tried to play it during.
It doesn't. The last time you played, it doesn't come across very good.
Yeah, but it's a CNN. It's out there too. You can find it. CNN clip of all CNN reporters calling it the China flu, China virus. It's like, but it's Trump's fault, huh?
Right.
Well, no one cared until Trump said it. Then all of a sudden it was evil. It's like, dude, you literally said it 10 minutes ago. Yeah. What's up? Oh my goodness. Did you see this this malarkey? The Democrats are trying to oust an elected GOP congresswoman.
Yeah. Just won by like 6 votes.
Because they didn't trust the election results.
Yeah.
Didn't Trump get impeached for this crap because he caused an insurrection for saying that it wasn't legit?
Yeah.
Are we going to impeach these people?
She won't get impeached. She'll just lose her seat.
Well, I'm not talking about the Republican. I'm talking about the Democrats that are saying we need to get her out. They should all be impeached for trying to incite an insurrection, right?
I don't think. Okay, so they gained 1 vote.
Not technically 2, because they lose 1, you gain 1, right?
But it ain't gonna give them that much more majority. I mean, it's only like a 5-vote majority right now in the.
That's exactly the point. It's a very slim majority now, and if it's only 5 votes, and if you can increase it by 40% with 1 move, that's a big difference.
Here's my prediction for 2 years from now. The Republicans regain control.
You're making a lot of predictions lately.
I know. Well, when I get drunk, I like to talk.
Yeah, you're worse than I am with predictions lately. Anyway, go
I
ahead. Tell me.
think that they're going to lose the House of Representatives in 2 years.
You think so?
Yes, and I think they're going to lose the Senate and the House of Representatives in 2 years.
Are we going to be at war at this time?
With who?
Probably China or Russia or maybe both. Do you think we'll be at war when this happens, or it'll before a war occurs?
No, I think we'll be at war because Trump kept us out of war and he brought troops home, and Democrats don't like that. Here's the thing about wars is it's a good way to stimulate the economy and get the economy growing again. So yes, I think we'll be in war someplace.
And to erase debt.
Yes.
How much money do we owe China?
Trillions of dollars.
And if we went to war with China, we're just gonna say no, we're not gonna pay you anymore, right?
Yeah, but I think that's gonna backfire us on the long term because we need them to loan us some more money down the road.
Let's be responsible adults.
Yeah.
Like we all learned in high school. I don't know if I say we all. I took a math of finance class in high school. That was like how to balance your checkbook and all that stuff. Which, by the way, I have not balanced my checkbook in like 20 years since I can go
Do you
online
have
and
a
see what came up.
checkbook?
I do. Don't use it.
Exactly.
But my account, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What the hell is that? Now I can go online, and once it clears, I know if it's cleared or not. I don't have
Yeah.
to sit there and figure out the difference of what's still pending because I can go click and it's done.
Yeah.
But let's be responsible adults and not spend more money than we have.
That's not how the government works.
I think that's the problem.
This is the problem.
How do we address this? As much as everyone hates the Clintons, Bill Clinton actually had a plan to get us in the black. And we
And
were
you know
on
why
our
he
way.
had a plan?
Huh?
You know why he had a plan?
Doesn't matter why he had a plan. The fact is he did, and he was the last one to figure out how to get us not negative.
Because there was a Republican House and a Republican Senate.
And what have they done since to do anything about it? Right
Not
back
a
to the
damn
spinelessness. The Republican Party's dead, dude. They're as dead as the Democrat Party. And you know what's even scarier is we're going to turn into 35 parties like every other country. And someone with 85 votes is going to win the presidency. Maybe that's what we need to do. Let's form like 1 million parties in the Democrat Party out of the Democrats. Have them vote for everyone else. Then have like
everybody's all excited about the Maine voting system.
What's happening in Maine?
They don't vote by parties anymore. They vote by popular majority.
What do you mean? I'm not.
They have a ranking system. You vote for like who you like the most, and then they put them all together, and then those people get the vote, the nominations, and it's not Republican or Democrat anymore. So basically, and California's doing the same thing too. It's a ranking system.
It's a non-partisan period. I get to just pick the candidate I like.
Yeah.
For nomination.
Yes. And election.
Well, election doesn't matter. You only at that point it's same difference as picking a party because each party only puts one guy forward, right?
No, not always.
When was the last time you can think of a single party that ran for president put more than one nominee up?
Well, not president, but this is also part of the primary system too.
Yes,
you can use the same system in the primary. So,
tell me, man, I'm still waiting for Trump to form a third party, and
never gonna happen.
I know, and I think it's a mistake. And I understand the argument saying you're just gonna split the Republican vote. The Republican vote's already split. Trump is not a Republican, and you know this.
Yeah, but he's gonna get out some rhinos for me, and I'm happy about that. So
really, Lindsey Graham's not going anywhere.
Yeah, but Murkowski is.
Well, I guess it depends on how deep down the line you're talking to. I mean, again, that's just going to be Congress and Senate, not
Collins.
Well, I'm just saying, like, Trump's word is not going to get Charlie Baker out of governorship in Massachusetts.
No, he's not trying to.
No, but Charlie Baker, sorry, this guy just drives me nuts. He's not a Republican, and not that I want him to be a Republican. He's just not. But that's what he calls himself.
Yeah. That's what he used to get elected as the governor.
Yeah, it's because for some reason Massachusetts likes to elect Democrats federally or Republicans locally, which this really pisses me off. Is what they're saying is within my own state, do not spend my money, but federally spend everyone else's money. F you, I don't care. Sorry, I was pardon me. I was reading through some social media posts when you were on the cam there. It's interesting. My local town, it's an uncensored, the connect groups on Facebook. It's like your local community.
Yeah.
Well, I got kicked out of mine. Actually, it was I disagreed.
Okay.
No, I disagreed, and I brought actual links and evidence from
reputable
sources, and they did not like that, and I was gone the next day. So I went and joined the uncensored group. Unfortunately, is
very censored.
No, they are what the Democrats are saying Trump supporters are. You know what I mean? And I'll say something in that group, and like half of them like, yeah, and the other half like, oh, you didn't go too far enough. All right. Yeah, what was it? Here we go. I posted a picture of a flatbed truck with 2 porta potties on the back, and it says $1.9 trillion stimulus, and it's going underneath a bridge. It says hyperinflation, and there's a convertible behind it that says the American people.
Nice.
You know? Keep
That's
putting this
true.
money out. We're going to hyperinflate and take a dump on everyone.
Yeah.
I just, people are telling me like, oh yeah, this could be real. This could happen. I was like,
It is happening.
check your grocery bill, dude.
Yeah. Gas went up. Gas went up after Biden got elected and everything happened with the hurricanes or whatever, with the power, the winter storms. Gas went up like 30 cents a gallon here in Virginia.
Oh, believe me, it's more here. I'm going to give Biden at least a year's grace period on gasoline prices, though. This happens every time a new Democrat's elected to office, presidency, every time. And it's funny because I'm like, oh, we trust them. But like every major business on the planet is like, get your money out now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, that sounds like the opposite of trust to me. Which by the way, changing presidents might be the time to choose to buy oil if you're into buying oil. I've never thought about that before. Now is a good time to buy silver, though, if you're interested. I know I made a big deal about it again earlier, a couple weeks ago. Like I mentioned, I was expecting a big panic buy.
It didn't happen.
Yeah, I was expecting people to freak out with this GameStop thing and buy literal tons and tons of silver. And that would have driven the price up because demand would have gone up. And I was excited because I was like, I'm going to dump my silver.
Yeah.
Like I said, buy it back in like 6 months to a year, have the same amount of silver or more, and a pile of money. Didn't happen. It does happen every now and then. When I started buying silver, it was right after the last big one when it hit $50 an ounce. I don't know where I was going with this. I had something to say about it, but so anyway, they're trying to overturn this race.
Yep.
Have you heard the rumors about trying to get Kavanaugh out now?
They're talking about there's some new investigation going on, and they're trying to impeach him.
For what?
I don't know.
But
I mean, I think the impeachment process is very similar for a Supreme Court judge or any federal judge as it is for president, and you got to get 2/3 majority in the Senate to do it. They have 51 votes in the Senate.
Well, here's an issue with an impeachment. Is an impeachment, they call it a trial, but it's not really.
No, it's not.
You don't actually need charges to impeach.
No, they just make it up as they go.
Like, perfect example is, what did they impeach Trump on? It wasn't a crime.
No. Citing an insurrection.
Yeah. They were literally saying your freedom of speech was a crime.
Yeah.
You know?
And if you go back to his speech on January 6th, nowhere did he say, hey, go attack the Capitol.
I
We're
believe he
going
said,
to
"We'll
walk to the
peacefully march."
Capitol and we're going to make our voices heard. But while he was making that speech, the Capitol attack was already happening.
Yep.
So this was planned long before him. He had nothing to do with it. They just used that as an opportunity to, do what they wanted to do with the Capitol building.
Yeah, this Kavanaugh thing I brought up, maybe they're not going to pack the court. Maybe they're just going to pull off every justice they don't like and just replace them. Which is kind of interesting because what has Kavanaugh honestly ruled on that the Democrats didn't like?
Nothing.
He's been on their side every single time, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Literally every single time.
He's not. It's just like John Roberts. He's not a reliable conservative. John Roberts, to him, it's more important that the court is the court.
Oh, so he's doing his job the way he's supposed to. More like he's doing his job like he's supposed to. Is that politics have nothing to do with this? What's the law?
Yep.
I'd like to see more of that, honestly. And isn't Roberts the one who made the big stink about them throwing out all the voting stuff?
No, that was probably Alito
Yeah, no, I
or
thought he was
Clarence
dead.
Thomas.
I thought Alito was the one who.
I
No,
don't know.
who was the guy who shot the softball game? I know he was our congressman,
Oh, that was Scalise.
Scalise.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry. There it is. And there you go. We keep talking about Republicans being violent. Dude was shot at playing softball. Rand Paul was attacked at his house mowing his lawn and had ribs broken. When was the last time Maxine Waters? By the way, she's a minority. So obviously she's a target because people hate Black Americans. Why hasn't she been the target of anything? Meanwhile, she's calling on people to get in people's faces and tell them they're not welcome here at the gasoline station, at the grocery store.
Anywhere.
I just, you know, it's gotten to the point it's not even worth spending our effort trying to point out hypocrisy because,
Yeah.
well, even the people that support these folks know that there's a double standard. So it's not like you're pointing it out to them. All you're doing is saying, I see it too.
Yeah.
You know, shoot, and Asian 6 Asian people get shot, and it's racism. 6 white people get shot, doesn't even get brought up in the news.
Nope. Not at all.
Well, they made a big deal about was it San Francisco and their Asian anti-Asian American crime
You
rate
are,
is
you are
has-
awesome.
looked like it went up so much. It went from 0 to 1. It was an infinite increase.
I figured that was where you're going next. So.
Yeah, well, it was such a giant increase. It's like it was 1 more.
They're white supremacists now.
Well, the Asians are white supremacists. Yeah, that's even more crazy. And I don't remember what it was. What the person in trouble for the school that I brought up earlier about the Americans use Asian Americans using
They're
white
using
supremacists thinking to
N-words.
get ahead, huh?
Who didn't speak out against Trump as House N-words.
Yes. Yes. You know, it's funny is I thought good and hard about actually using that word. I was like, I have all the freedom of speech in the world, you know, and
It's not worth it.
no, it's not for several reasons, even if it's just making a point.
Yeah.
But just like these people saying, like, oh, you shouldn't get raped just because you wore slutty clothes in the middle of the ghetto in the middle of the night. You know what I mean? It's like, yes, yes, but I'm not dumb enough to do that. Just like I'm not dumb enough to drop this word and get my ass whooped. It's not okay for these guys to beat me to death. Doesn't mean it's not going to happen. I didn't see it coming, right?
Yeah.
And no, I'm not talking trash on rape victims. I'm definitely not. But a lot of people that are claiming a lot of this stuff are in situations that they knew they shouldn't have been in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like not that far from where you live. I'm assuming you're still in the same place. It looks very similar.
It is.
Not that far from where you are. It gets real nasty real quick, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Once you cross them, actually, I'm pretty sure it's an actual, like, literal set of train tracks too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's even weirder, isn't it? And you wouldn't be down there in the middle of the night, walking around with $100 bills waving around your hand.
No.
Oh, you're not allowed to shoot me and murder me. Yeah, that's gonna stop the criminal, right?
Exactly. Not at all.
All right. What's this America Together stuff you got here? We went to a third point. Oh, yeah. There you go. I wanted to bring this up, and I cannot believe I did not put it on the list. I thought I did, but I have not seen it. Let's talk about Rush Bongino.
Yeah. I put it on there.
I tried to. I see it at the very bottom. I tried to do it the other way. Dan Limbaugh, but that wasn't nearly as funny as Rush Bongino.
Well, I mean, I don't think I've ever listened to him, so I don't know. But
You've never heard anything?
Another guy that's usually on the show, said he don't think he can pull it off. He doesn't have the charisma that Rush has.
That's tough.
It's going to take a lot. I mean, we knew this was going to happen. We had this conversation right after Rush passed.
And Rush had many years to build up a base too.
Yeah, and we had this conversation right after he passed, saying, "Hey, this is 3 hours a day that conservatives go to look to somebody to hear from, you know.
And I
But
believe
right now that his syndication partner has decided, I think it's Clear Channel now, has decided to put guest hosts on there playing Rush clips throughout the whole show. And that only lasts for so long, you know.
Yeah,
I
maybe-
mean, I loved Rush to death. I want to hear what he has to say, but
So
I've
you
heard it all
killed him.
before.
You killed him with love.
Pretty much.
You loved him to death, you bastard.
You know, but I mean, I still paying for the podcast right now. It expires sometime in May, but it's not like my number one podcast anymore. I mean, I'm listening to other shows, and if I've got time in the day, I move to his show now.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm not a huge Bongino fan. I've never really been that impressed, but I see him everywhere.
Okay.
Everywhere. He's been on almost every YouTuber I follow show. He's been on Fox News. He's been on CNN. He is a co-founder of Parler.
Well, that doesn't. Yeah. Well, Parler is pretty much dead at this point.
Yeah, it is. All I get on my phone is updates saying Kevin Sorbo, the guy who played Hercules on TV show,
Yeah.
posted something on Parler. I'm like, just let me scroll through and come across it. You know what I mean?
I mean, I've got Parler on my phone. I check it every once in a while, but
Just like me, like every day I'll look at it like for 5 minutes. Like, what's going on? Just like I check
nothing.
me. Actually, I
No.
don't even check MeWe.
I don't either anymore.
Nope. We
I
see
don't
what
even know
happens
why it's still on my phone. I really just need to delete it.
No, because when Facebook does explode, you at least can have one already set up and ready to go.
Okay. But, you know, Ray said it. Ray's familiar with him. Ray's familiar with Rush. So I got to respect his opinion. This guy, and how many stations is this guy going to start on, you know? Because all the Clear Channel ain't clearing off the Rush Limbaugh channels. You know, these stations are going to have to break their contracts with Clear Channel to move into another. I mean, it's going to happen. At some point, there's going to be no longer a Rush Limbaugh show on the radio. I mean, it just is what it is.
What do you mean by that? Like in terms of conservative radio or like Rush
No,
Limbaugh?
just
'Cause
the Rush Limbaugh in general.
Oh, he's dead.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, obviously he's not doing it anymore, right?
I mean, the only way the show continues is if his wife decides to take up his mantle and start doing the show every day.
Or you come up with a different name for the show. Call it like Rush's Legacy or something. You know what I mean? Or
I think they're kind of trying to do that now. You know, every guest host that's on there is like, "Hey, I'm the forever guest host of the Rush Limbaugh show." Blah blah blah.
yeah.
Blah, blah.
How
But there's too many clips.
many of them have been Sean Hannity?
But it's
Yeah, like, I don't even want to answer that because it's almost all of them.
well, Sean Hannity got his start on the Rush Limbaugh show.
I know, but I am not a Hannity fan.
Right.
Not
But
at
what
all.
I'm saying is, at some point, the show cannot be about Rush anymore. It's got to be about the guest host.
What Rush was talking about. Well, no, not even those. It's got to be about the topics, the subject matter.
Yeah.
But this show's not about you and me.
No, it's about what we talk about.
Speaking of, I found a good time because I wanted to bring this up like 45 minutes ago. On the New Agenda show, when people give money and then they do the, we're gonna tell you about what they want to be called, sir, whatever, and I want to be D douche or whatever.
Yeah.
What do we have to donate to them to get them to mention our show?
We could do it with like anything over $50. I gotta go.
All right. We might have to do that and see if we can get our name on that show and see if we can get some credit for them or recognition. I was just talking about Dan Bongino and I had something to say, but I completely forgot what it was already because I went out and peed in my backyard.
Okay.
I don't know. You ready to move on? Or you had more
No,
you
I'm
want to
ready.
say?
No, I'm good.
What's this America Together thing?
That was the Chair Force One thing.
Oh, that's pretty funny. HUD secretary endorses Democrat at White House podium in possible violation of the Hatch Act. Before we get into any of that, I just want to point out that the Pope has made a statement on same-sex marriage. An official, infallible statement. And by the way, I think it was John Paul XIV that said the Pope is not actually infallible, except when they speak for God, versus all the time. And this Pope came out, and I'm not a big fan of this Jesuit.
Yeah.
Makes me sound like I'm a racist, but Jesuits aren't a racist choice. Said that the Catholic Church will not endorse a same-sex marriage.
Right.
I'm glad he finally said something, and not that I have an issue with, homosexuals.
Right.
But religion is different. It's okay for, apparently it's okay for Muslims to cut the heads off of homosexuals in other countries.
Right.
But, it's not okay for the Catholic Church to say, we just don't endorse your marriage,
Yeah.
But I just had to bring that up real quick. I didn't put a thing in here for it, but I did
That's
see
fine.
that recently. And
Yeah, I remember seeing that article too. So.
yeah, I'm still thinking about leaving the Catholic Church, but I don't want it to be because I didn't like one elected leader.
Where are you gonna go?
Non-denominational, maybe Lutheran Protestant. I actually, I don't know how well versed you are in the history of the Catholic Church and Protestantism, but Martin Luther made some really, really good points in those 95 theses he wrote and posted on the church door,
Yeah.
Like, I honestly believe that you can hold mass in your heart.
Right.
You
Yeah.
don't have to be in a church to talk to God. But that's not what this show is about. Yeah. Maybe we can do a special time talking about faith and, but that's not what this show is about.
Yeah.
What are we taking pictures of?
Cat.
I only read half of this article, but apparently the Amazon rainforest is now what's causing global warming.
Yeah, I think Ray put that up there.
I did.
Yeah. Okay.
Has Ray Pope put anything up here?
I think he put it on. I thought he put it on like Messenger, and I transferred it over.
That's possible. He might. I could have.
But
Maybe I put it on Messenger. You transfer.
A lot of times I put articles on Messenger that I eventually want to move to the docs.
I actually do the same exact thing
I
because I'm on my
haven't figured
phone.
out a way to like do it when I see the article. If I'm on my phone, I can do it on the laptop, but on the phone, it's a lot harder.
You can do it on your phone too. It's just going to take you 8 minutes of click, signing in versus send it here and then get it on my computer. It's like, and now everyone else gets to give it a read before we talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I mean, there's more science to this than just, the rainforest is causing global warming, because the big deal was, remember the fires? Was it 2 years ago?
Yeah.
And they call it, people call it the lungs of the earth.
Right.
I did a lot of digging when that happened. One, the forest fires that year were less than average years. And two, no one has ever called them the lungs of the earth. Yeah. The algae in the ocean puts out more oxygen every day than the Amazon rainforest does all year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, don't get me wrong, it's great to have this. It's amazing wildlife that you'll never see anywhere else on the planet. But that's not what's keeping the CO2 down. It's algae.
Right.
Microscopic life that coats the entire ocean, which is what do they say, 3/4, 2/3 of our planet?
Oh, yeah, over.
But yeah, they go into how it's the deforestation and it's opening up these, without the roots and the trees, it's allowing gases to come out and work their way out, which I suppose makes sense. But the Amazon's not in that much more danger than it has been. And if we are that worried about it, stop buying lumber. Right?
Yeah.
You're going to say this is disgusting. We shouldn't drive cars. It's filthy. It's so dirty. As you get your effing car, and drive 40 miles to work, right?
Yep.
Oh, here we go. That brings up something that I'm considering, and I've already started doing some research on. I'm eventually probably going to do a YouTube video on it, but this is going to be like an in-depth, holy crap thing that's way beyond my pay scale. I want to know why we're not using alcohol as a fuel source more.
We're using ethanol.
Well, ethanol is an alcohol.
Yep.
And that's actually the alcohol I'm referring to in particular. We put 10% in our gasoline. You ever heard of the funny cars?
No.
They do a quarter-mile race, and they're these crazy, they're stretched out with giant wheels in the back and little tiny ones in the front. And they do a quarter mile in under a second from 0 to like 280. And they run on pure alcohol. Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of these things blow up. And when they do, it's vicious. And what's even more dangerous is they typically do these races at night. You can see the exhaust blowing out, these flames, because it's invisible in the daylight, the flame from this alcohol. I think that's what people are afraid of. But you don't have to be trying to do a quarter mile in under a second. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And alcohol is super renewable. I mean, you don't have to make it out of corn or wheat. We could literally use pine needles and leaves. Anything organic can make alcohol.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's what we should be doing. You know what I mean? We're talking about how gasoline's disgusting. Alcohol burns clean.
Well, I mean, I think using corn is a bad idea overall.
Why not leaves then?
It's a food source. I'm not saying leaves ain't. I think it's a better choice over corn because corn is like actually something people can eat. So you're raising up food prices when you're using corn ethanol.
It's very interesting, actually. I mentioned this to my father several days ago because like I said, I'm doing some serious digging and I'm calling people I know that own alcohol-powered race cars. I've contacted a doctor of mechanical engineering. By the way, you know how difficult it is to find a mechanical doctor?
No.
Oh my God, they're all engineers. And they're all ready to talk to me. And I'm expecting an answer, but you don't even have to grow corn to make alcohol. You can literally just rake up the leaves and the pine needles and your grass clippings and make alcohol.
I didn't know that.
Anything organic decomposing in a certain situation will ferment into alcohol. Then you just have to distill that alcohol to make it pure. Hops and barley, right?
Okay.
Grapes is wine.
Yeah.
Liquor, was it wheat, potatoes?
Yeah.
Sugar, it's all organic stuff. Just
something to start the fermenting process.
Yeah, you ferment it and then you distill it and you get a pure alcohol. Why aren't we using this as a fuel source? This sounds like this would solve so many of the problems that we're making a big deal about in this country.
Yeah.
Not only is fuel going to cost less because you can literally make it at home, and that might be why. Exxon Valdez does not want you making your own fuel.
No, nobody does.
Realistically, the United States government doesn't want you making your own fuel either, though, do they? One, they're not getting a giant cut of it. Two, they don't trust you to make your own fuel and not blow up everyone in a car accident or while you're making it.
Yeah.
I don't know, it makes me really tempted to try to convert an engine. You know what I mean? It's not that hard to do. I've converted one gasoline engine to natural gas. That was really cool. Actually, I did that in Virginia.
Yeah.
When I was at ATI. It was really cool. We did have to put a sign, a little sticker on the back window that said, natural gas powered.
Yeah.
And then directly under the door handle underneath the car, we had to put a valve that would shut the fuel line off because natural gas also burns clear in daylight.
Right.
So if you were in a wreck, the fire department would show up and see that sign, run over and cut the fuel line off instead of walking up and getting burned.
That's why they put the rotten egg smell into natural gas, like in the homes.
So you don't go and light a match and blow your house up.
Yeah.
By the way, hadn't occurred to me for 20 years. Power went out here a little while ago. And Tina said something like, "Oh, wow, what are we gonna do with food?" And I was like, "Oh, don't worry, we have a gas grill. Like, we can still cook."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, cool, cool, cool." And I went up and I looked at it, I turned the knob and nothing happened. I was like, what the hell?
Oh, you got a gas stove.
Yeah, well, then I realized
It's electric.
electric ignition. I used to have a pilot light. It was always burning a little bit of fuel and you just turn it up.
Can't you just like turn the gas on and put a match underneath it? Yeah.
Yes, that's what I ended up doing. But once I got cranked, I was like, why isn't it, And after light bulb, holy crap, open the window, turn the fan on. Once I felt ventilated, I went and turned it on again, lit a match, poof.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, let's have dinner. But I was like, oh man, it's like, I completely didn't even notice when just because I was living in Virginia with a gas range.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, an electric range. I completely missed the igniter built into it, like a grill with a propane. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was just so used to a pilot light because that used to be what they did back in the days. You blow out the pilot lights and let the stove run all night. When they woke up in the morning, lit a cigarette, they blow their house up.
Yeah.
All right, we covered the rainforest. There's more to it, but realistically, I don't care that much.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to pee.
Didn't you just do that?
Like 10 minutes ago.
You pee every 10 minutes.
Pretty much. I'm very regular.
When was the last time you had your prostate checked?
Not that long ago.
Okay. Now, I'm not talking trash. I'm not being weird. I'm just.
No.
It's the booze, not the prostate.
I
right?
see a urologist like all the time because I got kidney stones and stuff. So he's checking my PSAs, and I have a horseshoe-shaped kidney, so I can't pass kidney stones very easily.
I didn't even know that existed.
I didn't either until he told me. Navy
you,
never told me that.
Are they hitting
I had to learn it after I got out.
Are they hitting you with the ultrasonic radiation?
Already tried that. Now I'm going to pause the show and tell you how they're really going to get the kidney stones out now.
Oh, so you don't want people to hear this one. Oh, they're going in the hard way, aren't they?
Well, they're going to go on the back of my back or up the pee-pee.
Oh, I'd rather go back to the back. I was picturing an elephant trunk. I was like, oh!
No, if it's in the right place, you're going to go through my penis.
What they call it in the Navy when they tested you for punching your bore, when they took that giant Q-tip up?
I've done that.
I'm sorry. Anyway, go pee. Yeah, I'm not sure what we were just talking about, but in the minute or two we took to pee and hit the bathroom. I mentioned the No Agenda show again. Pardon me. One, I think we can get them to mention our name. We can get like 9 extra listeners.
Oh, a lot more than that. I know.
And like
It may
double our
not be
audience.
50. We may need more like in the.
You have to join the round table.
No, we don't go that high. But I think but in order for them like say something about, make jingles and do stuff for you, you got to be like in the $200 range or the $100 range type deal. So,
have we checked our email? Have we even mentioned our email? Like seriously,
I'm in the email right now.
Because I keep wanting to bring up the email every episode, and I forget until like at least 10 minutes after the you know what I mean? That's why I'm actually tempted to talk to you about setting up a little recording thing I play at the beginning of check out our email, this kind of crap.
Yeah.
It'll probably never happen, but
yeah, well,
it's just me. Jeez, these phones vibrate harder and harder every year,
Yeah.
We mentioned this one, didn't we? Biden White House kicked out everyone who used to smoke weed.
No, we did not. That's your next topic.
Oh, I thought I did. How
No,
Harris?
we did not talk about that yet.
How
We
Harris-
briefly talked about it, but we did not go in depth.
Yeah, how she? Oh, that's right. We mentioned how she said that she smoked pot in college, listening to Tupac before Tupac released a record.
Yeah. Or was it Nelly?
Huh?
That was Nelly.
Nelly was in like 2005.
I don't know. Whatever.
I thought she was saying she was listening to like Snoop and Tupac.
I don't know. It doesn't. Her favorite rappers. It doesn't matter. We don't care. Let's continue on with our conversation.
No, but anyway, then she went on to imprison how many Black Americans for marijuana possession, and now they're kicking people out of the White House for prior cannabis use, and it's like your VP admitted that she used to smoke pot, and she lied about when. The last Democrat president, Obama, admitted to smoking and inhaling marijuana and doing cocaine.
Right.
But you're gonna go and fire people for smoking some herb when your VP did the same thing?
I think it boils down to the rules that are in place with the Secret Service and the granting of clearances.
Again, why does marijuana use come into your ability to keep a secret? Like I said earlier, it's realistically the smoking too much weed is going to make you more likely to be too lazy to sell secrets, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to sit on my couch, smoke a blunt, drink a beer, and watch SpongeBob. There's a new movie out, you know.
I know. I haven't rented it yet. I'm
Yeah.
waiting for the right opportunity to rent it.
I'm pretty sure I get it free because of whatever service I am already subscribed to.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure my daughter's not old enough to enjoy that show.
No, but you could smoke some herb and watch
could.
the movie.
It's funny. I mentioned to you before that I'm thinking about growing.
Yeah.
Legal here. I actually can get in trouble from YouTube for saying this. I might have to cut this out.
2024.
Yeah. Oh, you mean after he's out of office?
Of course. That's how it works.
Give someone else the chance to shoot it down until it's not his fault for saying no, right?
No, I mean it's approved for till 2024. So
Here we go. How many states have to legalize not just medicinal but recreational use of marijuana? By the way, we'll get into the hoax that medicinal marijuana is in a minute.
yeah.
How many states have to legalize this before the federal government says, yeah, all right, it should not be on the same list as crack cocaine and methamphetamine. You know what I mean? Because it's a Schedule I narcotic.
Right.
No one's ever died of a marijuana overdose, ever. For the most part, car accidents don't happen because of it. Don't get me wrong, they do, but they're more likely to stop 20 feet before a stop sign than to go through one, right?
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, do not drive intoxicated. I'm not saying otherwise. I'm just saying that the effects of marijuana are way less deadly than alcohol have been. And we tried outlawing alcohol, and look how that went. It formed NASCAR. You built the white supremacist movement by outlawing marijuana, alcohol. Well, first thing you think of when you think NASCAR, well, not you, but your average northerner, let me put it that way.
Yeah.
And they think NASCAR is a bunch of racists, right?
Oh yeah.
Well, are you moving back north or what? Are you staying in Virginia the rest of your life?
I don't know if I'll stay the rest of my life, but I'm not moving back there.
Yeah, it's not just you anymore. Now you have like someone else to make decisions with too, you know?
Yeah.
She from Virginia originally?
No, South Carolina.
So she might have actually hanged a black man.
I don't think so. I'll ask her.
It's funny, actually.
He wants to know if you ever hanged a black man. Hanged a black man. Hanged. Lynched.
Strung up.
She says, yeah, we had a tree like that at our house.
It's funny. I heard you say it like 3 times, hanged. And I was going to say something earlier. Everyone's like, no, the term is hung. I was like, no. Hung means that you hung something with care. Hanged means executed by hanging.
So she is listening to the show. Jeffrey wants to know when you're actually going to be on the show. Yeah.
Yeah, I want her on as a guest.
We do want your opinion.
I do, especially since she's not involved.
Huh? She's calling us crackheads.
No, we all, according to Biden and Kamala Harris, crack is a black drug. It's racist to put people in prison for crack.
We're definitely white.
We are crystal meth addicts because that's the white drug that's just as bad, right?
Yeah. gotta stop saying stuff like that when I'm trying to drink a beer.
I want to shoot on your nose like a dragon.
It was close.
Oh, Jesus, what happened here? All right. When you were up here in Massachusetts, did you by chance go to a restaurant called Poopsie's in Pembroke?
No, but I hear you guys talking about it all the time. I don't think, because when I was there for Sean and Katie's wedding, and I think that was like, I may have been to Poopsie's, because I met them all at a bar. I just don't remember the name of the bar. So
Was it Chinese food?
at the bar?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. The Ming is a really common, really popular place.
The Ming.
Yeah, the Ming Dynasty.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sean talks about it all the time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's completely different than it used to be when he and I used to go there too.
Yeah, because he talked about the cold tea.
Well, not just cold tea. Like my sister's 21st birthday, we took her there, and she puked everywhere. Like there were stains on the carpet in the dining bar area for like 5 years. Someone else bought the place and just completely revamped the whole place and made it nice. And like now you actually have to show ID to get booze.
Damn.
Yeah. But it is the only place around here open on Christmas Day.
Right.
New Year's or whatever. So, you do your Christmas thing, then you go out to the Ming Dynasty.
And get the flaming volcano.
Yeah, well, shoot, what do they call it up here? Yeah, maybe it is. No, Scorpion Bowl is what they call it here.
Okay, yeah.
With the flame in the middle and a poo-poo platter.
Oh.
All the appetizers on the big, thing with the flame on the top, the sterno.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you'd go up there on Christmas and have a couple beers and you'd bump into people you haven't seen in 10 years because there's nowhere else to go.
Right.
That's open on Christmas night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Poopsie's is a bar maybe a mile and a half down the street, just across the Pembroke line, back towards where the highway is. And they make South Shore bar pizza there. And it's a cuisine that only exists in a 50-mile radius on the planet.
Yeah.
And
I know Sean and Katie have started working on their own bar pizza recipe in Florida because of Poopsies.
Has he checked out the Facebook group, South Shore Bar Pizza Association?
I don't know, but they got their pizza stone and they've got their recipe. I don't know if it's on a stone or not.
Yeah, if they got a stone, they're not doing bar pizza with it, but that could be for any kind of pizza besides bar pizza.
But they've got the recipe going. I'll ask them. Yeah. I'll ask them. They're on the South Shore bar pizza recipe.
Well, his little brother, youngest brother, introduced me to this Facebook social media group, and I'm about to leave because it was at first it was fun during the beginning of the lockdown. People were talking about pizza and we were sharing, and telling people where to get the parts that you need and all this, Yeah. But then people, how the internet is. All of a sudden it turned into that sucks and you're terrible. It's like,
right.
This isn't fun anymore, But I'm just saying, if he wants to make these bar pizzas, and it's an interesting, they're almost completely flat, maybe a 1/4 inch thick, and there's no crust. In terms of crust, it's just a little curl at the end, and they fit in these little aluminum saucers, basically, like 10 inches. Oh my God, they're so good. But you can't get them anywhere else on the planet.
Right.
Oh my goodness. And Tina came up from Florida. Well, obviously you know her story. From Florida, lived in Virginia. And she can't eat the pizza there. She's like, it's not right.
Right.
I'm like, which is too bad because the pizza here in general is amazing. I think within 15, 20 miles of my house, there's one chain pizza store. And it's Domino's. And we have to go get it because they won't deliver out to us. But within the same, 15, 20 miles, there's got to be 65 other pizza joints that are independently owned. And it's just everyone has their own recipe. And it's great. You get to go try a different pizza every day, versus I can. Don't get me wrong. The idea of the franchise is a good idea. So you can go anywhere and get the same tastes. But it's nice to be able to go get something different every now and then, So you see this message Ray sent the group through 3 drunken sailors.
Well, what?
Ray sent a message through 3 drunken sailors.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what I'm supposed to interpret from this.
Let me look at it.
This morning, Biden yelled at Blinken for bringing in a staffer with purple hair to the CCC summit.
I don't know either.
I thought we were
That's
supposed
the Secretary of State, right?
I'd have to read again and actually pay attention versus I was more worried about the purple hair thing.
I think that's what it's about. It's a purple hair thing.
Yeah. Oh, is that the Secretary of State has purple hair?
No, somebody he brought has purple hair.
Yeah. So what? Like really, so
Agreed.
what? Doesn't bother me at all. Now I understand the idea of the rest of the world might not be cool with that, but like 2/3 of the world's not cool with redheads, but we have no issue with them going out in public, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny, I've been cracking jokes, but I'm a little scared. Kind of seems like my daughter's gonna have red hair. And I've been cracking some jokes to Tina, and she's looked at me like I'm the most evil person on the planet. And I was like, I need a potato sack, a rope, and a bunch of rocks. And she's like, what? I was like, we're gonna throw her in the river. What are you looking up?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. Shoot, that's about it. You got anything else you want to talk about?
No.
Oh, I want to bring up this Teen Vogue thing. We mentioned it before. The reporter who asked the Biden campaign staffer about his relationship with another reporter that was covering the campaign.
Yeah.
And that guy said, I will end you. She just got fired as the Teen Vogue editor. Just a heads up, though, had nothing to do with the election. It was because when she was 17 years old, she made a joke on Twitter about Asian people.
That's cancel culture.
You know, I got a pretty good Asian joke, but it takes like 3 minutes to set up. But it basically is about like a whole bunch of miners, and one guy sent to get supplies, and they couldn't find him. Then he shows up at the mine and yells out, "Supplies!" Is that going to get me canceled for having a job in the future because I just made that joke?
Well, luckily, nobody's listening to the podcast, so probably not.
Yeah, no one's now. But if I ever actually ran for office, you better believe they're going to listen to every single episode we've ever published.
Yep.
And look for some reason why I'm evil, right?
That's why I'm not running for office.
I don't really want to either, but I don't want to have a position like that. I like to work well below what I'm capable of. I know that sounds like a lazy thing to say, but I don't want to work really hard every day all the time. You know what I mean? It makes you sound lazy, but I do physical work. And I don't want to work 15-hour days carrying steel around and, welding it or installing it in an engine or something.
Yeah.
I'd rather, and the same thing goes to, I don't want to spend 18 hours a day reading up on political bullshit so I can argue with some other politician, like realistically, I spend 10 minutes a day collecting topics for this. And then on Friday, I sit down for maybe an hour or two,
right?
Collect a couple sound clips if I can find anything decent and do whatever. It's really not that much effort I put into this show, and I've been doing more lately. And don't get me wrong, you have too. We're trying to bring this to another level, make it actually like entertaining, enjoyable, listenable.
Exactly.
It'd be nice to have a bunch of listeners, but again, this is more than anything. This is stopping me from going on a shooting spree.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Well, you already you started this show from the get-go. You were the one that the driving force behind the show from the get-go. Is like
I bugged you until you finally recorded us.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
because we have a great conversation.
We're getting together. we're already drinking.
We're already doing it.
We're already talking politics
Yep.
and all kind of. It's not even politics, but just anything
going
we
on?
have on our mind. Why aren't we recording this and like publishing it? It's like, okay.
So yeah, it's free and we have every right to do it. It's like, why the hell not? It's fun.
Yeah.
And exactly, we were already getting together every weekend anyway and drinking a ton of beer and watching MMA. I gotta admit, I do miss that.
I do too.
I miss sitting down and watching the fights for like 2 hours. Drinking
like 6-pack before we actually start recording.
That's exactly where I was gonna go. That's why we never actually got any organization together. So we got hammered before we hit record.
Yeah.
And we sat there with an old school reporter's notepad and wrote down topics 5 minutes before we hit record.
Hammered. We planned this show out like 30 minutes before the actual show,
At least now we're not necessarily planning it way in advance, but we're putting topics on the list in advance and giving us ideas of what to do.
Yeah.
Whereas it says, let's get blasted and see what we say.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the first episode we recorded, we got blasted, and I was talking about the freedom to bear arms.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I remember pulling out my gun, like cocking it and popping the round out. I listened to it the next day. I was like, I was blasted drunk, and I was holding a gun. Oh man,
I miss those days.
I did too. Whatever happened to that dude that used to come on every now and then? He was on, I think, twice, and they were always around Halloween. Because we had pumpkin beer both times. He's one of, what's his name?
Derek?
No, used to live with you. He's
John?
His mother, at least at the time, was dating the guy I was buying weed from in Virginia.
Michael?
Yeah, he had a buddy who was on our show a couple of times. And it was always around Halloween. We were drinking pumpkin beer. It's like, pumpkin beer again. It's like, dude, it's been a year. It's pumpkin beer season again.
I don't remember. But...
Oh, man, I can't remember. Yeah. I can see him in my head, but I can't even describe it,
Yeah.
But he was one of Mike's friends.
Okay.
Have you seen any of them lately?
Yeah, Michael still comes around.
Yeah.
And Michael's mother still comes around. So.
She was a scary woman.
She still is.
Yeah. She's still seeing that asshole? No. Or married to him or whatever?
Well, she's still married to him, but they're not together anymore.
He's an asshole.
Yeah.
He had decent weed though. Not the best, but decent. So what you said, you think maybe $50 will get us a shout out on John?
I was rethinking it, and I think to get the shout out, we need like probably $100. So $100. No audio. I lost your audio.
Sorry. Say that again. I hit mute on my mic and pulled the headphone wire out so I can play through my speakers.
It's probably gonna be more like $100.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna be able to pay for the publishing of this soon, and then hopefully we can come up with a couple of bucks. Hopefully, we can get a donation. We've had one donation.
Because if we could get our podcast announced on that show, we will definitely get some more listeners.
I don't know. You think they'll actually click on us and go find us?
Yeah, I think they will at least once,
Yeah, exactly. At least once. Now, here's the key: is if we get our name put on that show, we have to make sure we put on a good show next time.
Exactly.
We're gonna have to make sure we cut out the dead spots. You know what I mean? It'd be fun. I'm gonna grab one more beer, and I have at least one more topic to bring up.
Okay.
Let me hit pause so I don't have another minute and a half. All right, sorry, hit record again. Good. We're talking about our former co-host with us when we first started.
Yeah, Sean is too worried about getting drunk with his next door neighbor early on in the evening to be coherent enough to be on the show when we do it at 8 o'clock at night.
I had assumed that he was worried about getting in trouble with the United States Navy.
Maybe. He
Eh,
never verbalized that to me.
do you make chief yet? Is he ever gonna make chief?
No.
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 Got in too much trouble to do it.
No, he just doesn't study hard enough to make. He doesn't even make board.
I say, yeah, like I said, it gets in too much trouble. That's malarkey. All chiefs that I have ever met have been,
Getting all kinds of trouble.
oh my, they all had at least one divorce. They were all in debt up to their eyeballs, and like they couldn't leave the Navy because they would just they wouldn't be able to survive. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I'd save it for the end, or at least close to the end.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure I was going to bring it up, but it would appear that Rome is burning.
Okay. What do you mean by that?
Well, what did the Romans do as their empire fell? Bread and circuses, right? Bread and keep the people distracted so they don't realize what's going on. Meanwhile, we're trying to give free money to the entire country, welfare to everyone, and we're letting them watch two women scissor each other on national network television during prime time.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. When are we gonna start having people fight lions? You know what I mean? It seems like we're distracting people from what's going on. It's like, watch these two women have sex, and just make sure you pay attention to this and don't get upset that we're getting rid of Potato Head. How the hell was Potato? No,
yeah,
no.
it was a gender issue, and they didn't get rid of Potato Head.
I think that was a ploy to sell more potato heads.
I think so too. It worked
because it came with lips for women. Oh, it matters. It came with stereotypical female and male parts besides genitalia.
Yeah.
Just it's frustrating. It seems like that's what we're doing now is we're just distracting everyone.
Yeah.
So they're ignoring what's actually happening. They don't realize that we're about to go to war with China.
No.
China just accused us of walking out in the street and shooting black people in the head for fun. What pissed me off even more was Biden's like, that's not happening. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? You spent 4 years rioting, telling me that this is what's happening.
Yeah. The riots are still going on the East Coast, on the West Coast.
There's still an autonomous zone in Portland. There's a new one.
Yeah.
Is it Portland or Seattle?
Portland.
I think it's Portland. Yeah. Am I allowed to just declare independence from the United States?
You can try.
Yeah, I had to be prepared for a fight, though, right?
Yeah.
Because they'll ignore my cry for independence.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But once I do something that they consider illegal in my own home,
they're gonna come after you.
Yeah, they'll just say we don't recognize your independence, right?
Yeah.
Like China to Taiwan or Tibet.
It's coming for Taiwan.
Yeah,
that's going to be an issue in the future.
I think that's going to be what starts the wars when they invade Taiwan.
Well,
because the question is, does Biden have the nuts to do something if China tries to claim Taiwan as I don't even know how to say this.
As part of their sovereign territory.
Technically they are, but they're not. Like it's like comparing Guam to the United States or Puerto Rico. It's not part of the nation in the general sense, but they still kind of are.
But this didn't happen just yesterday. Taiwan seceded from China for decades ago.
Yeah, and Tibet. There's a whole thing, free Tibet, right? That was China too, wasn't it? Or was that India?
No, it's China.
Okay.
Yeah. The Dalai Lama is not in China right now.
What's that?
The Dalai Lama is not in China.
No, they're usually in India.
Well, the Dalai Lama was the head of Tibet.
Oh, that's right. For some reason, I thought they were Indian.
No.
I don't know, man. I'm not looking forward to it happens here. And, you know, we can pretend all we want. But when weapons get deployed, you know, that's if you want to keep playing your narrative, that just means more and more people are going to die, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what to do about it. I don't even know what argument to make. Now, I've heard plenty of arguments from other people. None of them sound convincing enough to me. But Here's what's really driving me nuts is, like I said earlier, Bill Maher and a whole bunch of very far left people are saying China's an issue now. And I don't know. Actually, we brought this up on the show. Bill Maher said he doesn't mind if thousands of Americans starve to death in an economic decline as long as it gets Trump out of office.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden he's saying China's an issue and they're going to eat our lunch. It's like Trump said this for 4 years, and you said you hope people die to get him out of office because he said this, and now you're saying the same thing. So essentially, what I'm seeing is someone who said, "I hope a whole bunch of people die."
I mean,
That's it.
when it comes to Bill Maher, it's all about politics, you know.
No, it's not. It's about ratings and clicks. He doesn't. I don't think he believes half of what he says.
Okay.
I used to watch Politically Incorrect way back in the day. What's he got now? What's the new one called? Real Time with Bill Maher, or something like that. I just don't believe half of what he says. Oh Jesus! No, never mind. That's something I posted there. Guapo shared something with us again.
Did he? Okay.
New administration is. Oh, that's the same thing we talked about earlier. What kind of weird keyboard does he have?
I don't know.
No, he's got like Spanish punctuation on it. Not there's anything wrong with Spanish. It's just like what keyboard do you have?
I don't know.
I suppose it's just a program to, you know what I mean? Not only bring that up because of the accent over the O. You know what I mean? Like if you saw a word with a U in it with 2 dots over, be like, what kind of weird German keyboard is this, right?
There. I should solve all the problems.
Huh?
I should solve all our problems.
Yeah. What kind of keyboard are Y9 using? By the way, like I said, I finally figured out how to read these chats. I've been checking them after the fact. Well, it looks like you're buying Ray a new Bluetooth keyboard for his birthday.
I am.
You said you would.
I'm drunk.
Yeah, you said you'd buy an early birthday present. You're like, they're only like $25, Bluetooth. I'm like, that's pretty cool. It was funny because I was looking at some stuff like on Wish that was wicked cheap, but you might have to wait 5 months for it.
Stop on Wish. Stop it.
Well, you know, and it's mostly Chinese garbage, but not all of it.
It is mostly Chinese garbage.
But that's the issue. Is you have to. There's deals there, but you have to really, really put the effort in. You have to be 100% certain what you're getting. Like I mentioned, I got some headphones there like 5 years ago, and they lasted like 4 years, and I got them for $20. That was a great deal.
Yeah.
But sometimes you buy a couch, and it's for a dollhouse. You know, super zoom in. But yeah, I was looking at some of his microphone sets with like the big boom that comes up and holds your microphone and all that crap. And it's like $25. I was like, all right, it might take 6 months. But if I send him all this really nice stuff, like $25, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
It's like if it lasts a year, it'd be worth it, you know?
Oh, definitely.
But then he got his new phone anyway, and that, woo!
But he still needs better audio.
Well, he has it shut off a lot because of the screaming baby, too.
Yeah, I know. But it's nice for him. It'd be nice to have decent audio when he does chime in, when he chimes in, you know. But the video is definitely 100% better with his new phone.
Oh, it's better than 100% better. Like I could actually see him and not just
you know, look.
The top of his head is all gray and grainy.
Yeah.
But these built-in cameras do suck. They really do. I'm sure you got a webcam, not the built-in one, right?
I'm using the built-in one right now. That's why
Really?
it's crappy as it is.
Really, I could switch this over to the built-in, and it's a garbage picture. Like this sucker's completely, it's just wired in and sitting on top of my computer, you know.
Well, this is part of my computer, so.
Well, I have one right underneath it. It's actually sitting over covering the one that built into the laptop. But that picture is not nearly as good.
Yeah.
And this is covering the lens of my other camera, so I'm not getting random pictures from some guy who's great with computers. And this one has its own lens cap. So I can do the same thing to it. Anyway, anything else you want to talk about? I mean, we can end this if you want to. I'm having a good time.
I'm always having a good time. We can still end it and have a good time. So
Sure. Well, looks like that was episode 31, folks. Thanks for listening. If you managed to make it this far, check us out on our different platforms. We're on YouTube. We're on Podbean.
you can find us anywhere you find your podcast: Apple, Spotify, Amazon.
Actually, check this out. Ask any smart device you have, whether it's Alexa, Google, Android, Siri, whatever. Ask them, find the Jeffrey and Brian Show.
They'll find it.
And it will find us because we are the only one. And we brought this up before, Al, about the My Pillow thing, right? How we didn't get the copyrights. We have been using this one long enough that if someone else made the show, we could actually sue them, even though we haven't.
We don't have the money necessarily to do that, but we could.
No, you're right. We don't have the money, but we would have a case.
We've been here for this show's been on the air.
Oh my God, it's almost 10 years, isn't it?
Yeah, we're pushing 10 years.
Oh my God, it's probably more than 10 years. This is before Tina and I got married when we started.
Is it? I don't know if we started before or after you guys got married.
I don't know either.
Right around that time frame. So we're on 10 years. We're definitely on 10 years.
Jeez Louise. Holy crap.
I'm glad you pushed me to do this. I enjoy it every week. It's something I look forward to now.
I really do too. Like when I get a good article when I'm out, whatever, and I read it, I'm like, oh, and I send it straight to the group. So when I get to the computer, I can move it over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But also check us out on our, or not check us out, but send us an email.
Yes.
At the jeffreyandbrianshow.com, at gmail.com.
Yep.
If you're interested in, having us talk about whatever, or
Let us know.
maybe even funding us, that'd be awesome. No one's going to give us money, dude. I wouldn't even give us money. All right. Well, I guess that's the end of the show. But yeah, check us out on our other platforms. If you want an audio only, you got our Podbean. If you want some video of us sitting here drinking beer, scratching our nuts and talking, check us out on YouTube at Testicles. You can find us on Amazon, anywhere else. We got our Gmail account. We'd love to hear from you. And not only do we want to hear from you, we want to have you on the show.
Exactly.
We want to hear your opinion.
Doesn't matter if your opinion agrees with our opinion or not. We just want to have a discussion with you.
Even better, I want
That's
you.
the best.
I want you to make me question my thoughts. You know,
definitely.
I want you to make me go, oh, maybe I was wrong.
Yeah.
But anyone who really disagrees with us that much is not listening to the show.
Right.
You know what I mean? We're not popular enough to get people that don't like us to listen to us.
Not yet. We're working on it.
But that's it, I guess, until next week.
All right.
Talk to y'all later.
Yeah.
Just a yeah.
Yeah.